spreading knowledge like a seed. With patience and kindness, he shows the way, turning clouds of confusion into a sunny day. He's got the wisdom of the real world skies, guiding us higher, helping us realize that flying's not just a dream in the blue. With Forder by your side, you can make it true. Fly with Forder where the knowledge flows, through the winds of wisdom where the passion shows. He's the captain of kindness, the teacher we need, helping every simmer take off and succeed. He speaks in calm tone, steady, clear, breaking down the lessons, erasing the fear. From takeoff to landing, he covers it all. In his virtual cockpit, you'll never feel small. A community's heart, a mentor, a friend. He'll stick by your side till the lessons end. It's more than a game, it's the art of the air. And with Forder's guidance, you'll always get there. Fly with Forder where the knowledge flows, through the winds of wisdom where the passion shows. He's the captain of kindness, the teacher we need, helping every simmer take off and succeed. From the first cold start to a perfect glide, Forder's dedication is our joy and pride. In every stream there's magic to find, a passion for flying and a heart so kind. Fly with Forder where the knowledge flows, through the winds of wisdom where the passion shows. He's the captain of kindness, the teacher we need, helping every simmer take off and succeed. So here's to Forder, our guide in the air, a pilot of patience with a heart that cares. With every new lesson, our dreams take flight. Flying with Forder, we reach new heights.
Well, if it's live now, then I guess it should go live. How you doing, everybody? How's it going on a Tuesday? Really sorry that we missed Saturday. Honestly, I found out Friday evening that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be somewhere Saturday. Honestly, I didn't know. I would have warned everybody ahead of time. So that's what happened. Saturday disappeared like real quick. But guess what? Because the marketplace is open and the new update is here, it's not the sim update, you guys. It's, we'll talk about that in a second here. But we're just going to do a quick plug for that before we get into our lesson. But guess where we're going to fly this Saturday? Probably the Amazon jungle, you know what I mean? So we're going to go check out the new scenery. Why not? The first new scenery update for this sim. It'll be a lot of fun. World update 19, is that what you're saying? 19? All right. And hey, Ace subscribed for 47. I can't even count that high, Ace. It's like, that's a long time, my friend. He's probably lurking right now. He can't be live, but he's here. He's here. He's here. Hi, Strap. Glad you're with us. Thanks for all that you do. And everybody who's joined us right now, thank you for joining in. We've also included YouTube Live just for those who do want to tune into a live session now and then. And, this is going to be a lot of fun. So let me just go over first to the marketplace just to see what that looks like real quick. And then, Thursday we can dive in some more and do some more things if we want. Today it's the Cirrus VisionJet, and the Cirrus VisionJet is something that we have done a lesson on before. I brought back the old lesson and modified it, and now it's available in both 2020 and 2024. And a matter of fact, both versions are available in 2024. So because it's available in career mode and a lot of people are stumbling around it, it is an easy jet in career mode. You just hit Control E and it's running. And you just go. But a lot of people have been asking me to dive a little deeper, and I said, well, we did a lesson on that a year or two ago, but let's bring it back, and we'll go have a look at it and the newer version and see what it's all about. So that's what we're doing tonight, you guys. We're going to have some fun with the VisionJet. We are going to go on a flight. Let me see, it's going from KTYS to KBNA, and you know, we're going to walk through all of that, the initialization, the checklist items. We'll do it properly and have some fun with it. There were a couple of videos, actually Andrew sent me one too just a few days ago, a pilot who flies them in real life. I picked up a few more tips from them too. So remember that this is the sort of jet that I don't fly in real life. I fly the low and slow GA planes, but still with my pilot experience and my knowledge about IFR and VFR and all the rest of that stuff that pilots have to know, I'm just going to apply some of that knowledge and help all of you who are wondering what the VisionJet's all about, how to do it properly, and how to manage all the screens. Let me tell you, the way they've got it set up here with the G3000 is pretty amazing. The number of screens we have available and what we need to do with them. And that was part of the problem. Even watching the real pilots flipping through screens is like, how did they do that? And they don't think about how to explain the G3000. Go read that on your own. But there certainly are manuals about them, and I'm going to help us get into those basics and get it rolling. For those advanced flyers who want to go IFR all the way at high altitudes, certainly you can do that with this plane, but we're not doing that today. We're doing a VFR, short distance, 60 miles or something, and having some fun with it. It's going to be a lot of fun. That is the server. But that's not the route. Sorry, Brad. I don't update the route for Tuesday nights. I use the route and the flight plan for Saturdays. So I'll have it on the screen. I'll put that in for you. But today it's going to be KTYS, which is the big training center for VisionJet, and KBNA is where we're headed to, which is a non-controlled airport, uncontrolled airport, and easy enough to do visuals going in there. We might do an ILS in there just to show you how it works. It'd be a lot of fun, right? What's the insane crosswinds in career mode taking off and landing? Yeah, Kiwi Craig, but it's possible. If you use the crosswind techniques that we taught here on a Tuesday evening, you can manage those crosswinds. I've done them, and it is pretty insane. I mean, they're probably expecting some bigger airplane, and here I am in a 172 doing that route, and those crosswinds are pretty brutal. I'm sure they're going to fine-tune this stuff. You know, there's lots of things that are still crazy. They fixed a lot of things with this update 1, but they haven't fixed a lot of things in career mode yet. Some people are still spawning upside down in hangars. Some people are, you know, flying a little tiny 172 into a 45 knot crosswind. Remember, the demonstrated crosswind for 172 is 14 knots, and I think for the 152 it's 15 knots. That's a demonstrated crosswind. That's the direct crosswind, not the full wind that you get in your report. In your wind report, there's a component, a headwind component and a crosswind component. When you extract that out, it might be less than 45, but you know, we can still handle it. Worst case scenario, even with a wing low, we might get pushed to the left. So start to the right of the runway. In real life, you just wouldn't do it. Anyways, so much for that. Let's move on. Yeah. Daylight savings. Yes, daylight savings. Okay, we can allow that. Certainly, no problem. Yeah, daylight savings. Yeah, and that's too bad. And you know, I did have a I did have a blue sky notice ready to go too. Let me see if it's still there. Yeah, there it is. I should post that, make sure everybody realizes we're live. There we go. Posted. Okay, and that's where we can send notifications out on blue sky. Nothing but blue skies. 3 weeks I missed the beginnings of Murican. Is that Mur? I don't know what that is. Let's see. Went to bed at 3 a.m. when it changed. Yeah, you don't have to wait till 2 a.m. you guys. You can change it before bed or after you wake up. Anyway, let's move over, and we're going to be saying hello here. And this is the Tuesday night lesson night. Yeah, we'll open it up first with Andrew. Where are you?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Are you here? Or it just doesn't come through to this headset? Maybe you've been talking to me all along, but it just doesn't come through to this headset. No, it's supposed to be on the screen, but I don't see it anywhere. Okay. No video. Is there audio?
Well, I'm not hearing you through Zoom.
I hear you in the other headset. I guess I'll wear the other headset. Let's wear the flying headset. I'm going to need this for say intentions anyway. Are you there? Are you there, Andrew? No, he's not here. There he is.
I'm here because people are hearing me on the stream, but I'm not hearing you.
Wasn't
through
coming.
Zoom.
Wasn't coming to my earbuds. I'll drop those out for a second, you guys. But it was coming through to my headset. There we go. Let's do the headset anyway. I'm going to fly anyway. All right. I hear you now, man. So you must have been talking all along, right? Yeah, it's interesting, the routing on that. My new sound card with its earbuds, for some reason, isn't getting the stream audio, but we'll figure it out later. At least I can do, I can like...
Still nothing from Zoom.
I can do like, what? Nothing from Zoom? You don't hear me? Wow, things have been changing. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Yeah, that's the right microphone going to Zoom.
I hear him on stream, but not through Zoom.
That's the right microphone on Zoom. That is the right microphone. You don't hear me at all. Check, 1, 2. No, that's right. Zoom's working fine. Something's happening at your end, Andrew. I'm pushing through. My microphone icon's jumping up and down in Zoom. Interesting. We've got a communications problem, NASA. Hey, you guys.
Never mind. No, it was on my end.
It was on his end. See what I mean?
Yeah, Windows did weird things and changed my device again. I hate when it does that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's kind of funny when that happens, you guys. But it can happen. Windows does that. Yeah, it's Windows. I'd blame everything on Windows, right? Yeah, thanks, Ace, for that. And Mike says I hear him on Zoom. La 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 la. Okay, so you guys, let's get rolling. Anyway, Andrew, before we get rolling, I just wanted to say hi. Your face isn't on either, so you're having troubles today with your machine.
Just give me 2 secs. I'll check the camera too, see if that got switched.
I came over to the main screen just so I could say hi to you, man. And we didn't say hi before the stream. I figured he was busy. Sometimes Andrew just pops in at the last minute, so we didn't worry about it. But anyway,
that's interesting. My camera's not there.
We're away from streaming for 1 day, and look what happens. All our systems go, yeah. Anyway, let me mention what's coming up, you guys. So next week, Rad Baron and I are going to be doing real search and rescue techniques. We haven't even got the curriculum ready, but it's going to happen next week, all right? And we're going to start working on that now that this lesson will be over. And that'll be a lot of fun. And the week after that is a surprise. The week after that, I think it's March 15th, is it? Maybe. Let me see. Let me just come down here. Yeah, there's a special, I can't even announce it yet, but there's going to be a special lesson on a special brand new plane. So that'll be March 25th, I think is the date. That'll be the week after next. So we got a lineup here. We'll update the website once we're allowed to talk about it. Let me just look at my dates here. Yep. The 18th, Search and Rescue. The 25th will be Surprise. And that'll be a lesson on. So the 18th, yep. Let me just check again. I'm pretty sure the 18th are you and I. Yep, next week. And then the 25th, which is 2 weeks from now, will be the Surprise. So we'll get to work on the curriculum for the Search and Rescue. Anybody else want to contribute to that? Say so. Rad now, work on it. And Andrew, I do see your tag is up, but your face is not. Just thought I'd mention it. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, in the flesh. And I see your cameras move too. So don't worry about it. It's all right. We see part of your face, and that's all that matters.
Should be where it normally goes, but...
No, super tight. Nice guess, but that's not it. I'm sure the new Hangar Studios plane will come into our view soon too. Yep. And there's Surly Dev's clapping for you, Andrew, because you're alive. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you guys, lots is happening. The reason I'm on this screen to start with, before we get to the lesson, I want to show you the marketplace. Look. If you didn't know, this just happened today. I don't know why it's got all these big ugly things on the screen, because I have all this stuff, or I'm supposed to have all this stuff.
Because that's pretty much the only thing you can buy right now.
Well, what about
the upgrades?
What about all this stuff? I mean, I own all this stuff. Oh, this one, okay. I own all of them. But if you didn't own them, you could probably buy them, right? It's because I have the Aviator Edition, right?
Well, when I first checked it like 2 hours, 3 hours ago, The only thing that was available for purchase were the various upgrades.
Huh. That's aircraft. Just go back
Like
one
the Cap 4 wasn't even there at 3 o'clock.
airports. According to that, you don't have aviators. Yeah, I see that, Mike. I saw it there as a cost, like $128 or something. Like,
Yep.
wait a second. Wait a second. And here I'm going to airports. I see there's nothing in there but you know,
Swirly divs. Yep, that's all I got on Ace. No.
just all owned contact. Yeah.
Yeah. That was what I had too, Kiwi Craig. The only thing that was available for sale was the various updates. Standard to deluxe, standard to deluxe up premium, standard to aviator. Those were the only things on mine that were available for purchase.
This is supposed to be the Aviators edition. Interesting. Yeah. Well, we'll find out why I don't have it. You know what I mean? I've got 4 versions of the sim. This is supposed to be the Aviator version I have, so who knows?
And the really funny part is the ad for it, but for the second one that the announcement they released for the local legends, the Cap 4. They don't pay it. Somebody's not paying attention to their spoof readings, because it says it's one of the 4 that are being offered to us for free as a oops, we messed up on release day. And then the very last line of the description is you can buy it on the marketplace for $14.99.
And Charles Farmer, welcome back. Do not hit that gift button. You've given plenty to the channel. Thank you for your gifts, but glad you're here, and 39 months in a row. Glad you joined in tonight. This is the night we're going to be talking about the VisionJet. But first, we were just having a quick look at the marketplace and to see what's in there. It's starting to do live things.
Yeah, and he did it anyway.
Man, he did it anyway.
Thanks, Charles.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so
You don't have to do that when you show up. You could just say hi.
For most people,
Thank you for what you've done.
Go to the marketplace, click on World, and activate your copy of World Update 19 Brazil.
Okay, so we have to go.
Because you still have to go to the marketplace to do that.
You still got to go to the marketplace and update it. Are you kidding me?
It
so
takes
what are we
about
looking for? World, right? Yeah. Right here.
Yeah, World.
World. There we go. Free. Get it for free. Okay.
And it takes all of about well, for me it took about 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, they're not actually downloading it, you guys. So
yeah,
that's
it's just
activated.
configuring it on yours.
And this is the beauty of the new sim, which many people don't realize yet. They're saying, let us download everything. It's like, yeah, okay, you don't have a big enough hard drive, buddy. But you know, the point is, you guys, I just went to the marketplace, and this is the first sim crash I've ever had.
You know, the silly part is that's just exactly the same thing it did to me this afternoon. I activated it. It went back to the main screen. The next time I clicked, it shut me down. Then it started right back up again. Like I had to restart it, but yeah. So I don't know. There's something. I think it gets hiccuped when it's reestablishing the new stuff.
Don't make excuses for sloppy programming. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
like yeah, that like I say, mine did exactly the same thing. I went to marketplace, I went to World, I went yes please,
Well,
click,
not
went back to the
acceptable.
main screen, and then it crashed, and then it shut itself down.
Not
Started right up
acceptable.
again.
They got to do this right. They got to do it right, because they make any more fumbles, yeah, they're going to kill the last few customers. Yeah. You changed your clocks again, didn't you? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, as we did.
Cirrus Dev can't even get in the sim. It's on a black screen with a spinner. It's like launch day all over again. Yeah, and nobody likes to go through that again. My first ever crash in 24. Yep, first ever crash in 24.
That might have been my 3rd or 4th.
I think I'll say in beta, the first version of beta, or was it alpha? One of those crashed on me, but no, not since any of this, not since update either. No, mine's been stable. It's stable on my Xbox too, which people say it crashes all the time on their Xbox. So you know, I don't do anything different, you guys. I don't have anything more powerful than anybody else. I'm just lucky. Who knows, right? All my life I fixed stuff. My background's in electronics, electrical, all kinds of things. And you know, like my wife says, things don't break when I'm around. You know, I walk into a room with a broken TV and it just works. Who knows?
Howard scares things.
I don't know. I have this aura, right? The thing doesn't dare want to break when I'm there. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, you know, people say, come over and sit in my car for a minute. Maybe I won't have to take it to the shop. Yeah, so Oz, same thing I just had happen too. So let's see what happens on the restart. Andrew says he restarted and it was fine afterwards. But,
Yeah.
you know, if this thing crashes again, I'll just take that update out. But I was going to say, you guys, guess where we're flying this Saturday? Obviously somewhere in the Amazon jungle area kind of thing, because that's where all this stuff is happening, right?
Yeah, Oz.
But hopefully we can get there, right? I am. Well, people have said that a lot before in the past, my whole career. But yeah, that's... I've even shown up as a TV repairman in my early days of electronics. I'd show up at a house when we used to do house calls, and things wouldn't be broken when I'm there. And then they'd call me once I've left. Oh, and now it's acting up again, right? So, I mean, things like that really do happen with me. My wife says things don't dare break when I'm around. But, you know, so here we go. The first break of the sim is like, crap. I don't have patience for that, you guys. They have had a long enough grace time to kind of lick the wounds and fix things and, you know, get things out stable. Don't release it till it's stable. Test things first. You know, now there's no excuse. They had a deadline back in November. All the marketing was in place. The pressures were all there. They had to release it. Now there's no excuse. This has to work, especially when they make the statement, we got to get it right. We don't want to rush it. So, okay, get it right, Microsoft. All right, so let's go to free flight. Is gonna work, is it? I hope so. And this is what we're doing today. All right, so before we get in, Xbox Game Studios, holy moly, that took a while. Oh, so you got it, Surly Dev. Okay, super duper duper. Third-party content from 2020 has not been 2020 approved yet. Well, I have tested every one that I do have in my community folder. I have tested one at a time. And that's what most people don't have the patience for. But let me just go here and just go to community. And I've got enough in there. And it's all tested. This is all my latest community. That's not all my community stuff. It's just the stuff I've tested and put in there. So, you know, I do have a huge community folder, but no worries. Be happy. Now, today, just for everybody knows, we're going to be flying out of Knoxville, Tennessee, over to, I'm trying to think of the name of the place. I think it's called Crossville. And, oh, it's right here, CSC. That's right here, yeah. And we're probably going to leave, I want to leave on 5 right. I'll ask for a 5 right. So there's what's going to happen today. After the brief is over, we're going to learn more about the airplane first, and then we're going to fly this. We're not going to follow this route exactly. Just like in career mode, it does this strange thing when you get to the airport. Let's go here. No, let's go over there. No, let's go over here. No, let's go back here. No, maybe we should do a pattern. Don't follow all this crap, you guys. It's no pilot does that for real. Do what they say. If they say you're cleared to a right downwind, do a right downwind. You know, get to know where your runways are. We'll show you that when we get there. Probably we'll just do a VFR visual on the way in, or I'll just show you the, you know, I'll show you an ILS in the G3000 maybe. I don't know if that might interest everybody. But we're flying the plane. And the main thing is to get it going in more in depth than just pressing Control E like we do in career mode. All right. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to change this to noon because it gives you a visual straight over top. And we have clear sky, so it'll be fine for our flight today. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'll get into that if the sim will let me today. I've been flying this thing for weeks without problems. And then I'll set up my little nav map with the same thing so I can watch it happen on little nav map, and I can pick up some frequencies off of there. I'll also be using say intentions, everybody, so that'll be what I'll be using for ATC. If you're doing say intentions also, then make sure that you turn off character voices in your sim. All right, your character voices is the built-in ATC that will also be talking when you tune into these frequencies, and you don't want that annoyance. We'll get rid of the built-in ATC, which has never been good, ever. Now, I did say a runway. I want to do cold and dark. Hold on, and then we'll move over to our classroom screen. So, Andrew, anything you want to say before we head over to the classroom screen?
My plane's sitting on his butt. I have no idea why. It's like it's a tricycle gear, and I'm sitting with the tail on the ground. It's very strange.
Let's have a look at what you got there. Have a look from the outside, Andrew. What does it look like? Ah, you're flying the old one.
Nope, I don't own the old one.
Okay. I only have the red one. That's why I thought you were flying the old one from 2020.
Nope.
Hmm.
This is the
That is
2024.
weird. Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah,
that
and it was
happen.
fine. It was fine yesterday when I had it up.
Yeah, well, today might be the day of surprises, everybody. Welcome to the day of surprises that keep us all on our toes. Let me just go and see where I'm taking off from here. I should be on. Yep. Okay, that's where I am. Here's where I'm taking off from. One of the parking spots in the south ramp, so that I could just take off on runway 5 real quick. No problem. No problem. Do you have all your weight in the back, Ace says. Yeah, that's a good thing to look at, right? We're going to look at weight and balance, you guys. And Lieutenant Bob is in the house. Manx is here also. How are you doing? Postmaster P, how's it going? And Mike's here. A shout out was given to Noise Boy Mike. Isn't that cool? Rock and roll. And let's get going with the lesson, you guys. So tonight's lesson on the VisionJet, let's go. Now, some of you saw this lesson before. You've been with me for years, so you know this lesson. I've added a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, even my proofreaders have not seen this new stuff. You know what I mean? It's just this takeoff trim. Yeah. Takeoff trim is, maybe your takeoff trim. Yeah, he's got a point there, you know. He's got a good point. Let's move over to maybe that screen. All right, we'll let Andrew work away at his troubles. And let's just go and get into the briefing, you guys, and find out more about it. This is the Cirrus VisionJet, and what I'm going to do is take a look at the 2024 version, as you saw me loading up. This also pertains to the 2020 version, except it has its own tablet in 2020, its own aircraft virtual management tablet. And so you might prefer that still. I do have it ported over, but I'm not going to be using it tonight. I'll use the new 2024 version. Yeah, MSFS 2024 has a life of its own. So I've put both logos on here, everybody. So just so you know what the difference is, this airplane is made, both versions are made by FlightFX, but Asobo has acquired it for 2024. That's what you're seeing here in the picture. And so that way I'm putting both labels on it. But it is originally owned by FlightFX. As we noted a few days ago in one of the streams, if you go to the FlightFX Discord, they won't support the plane for 2024 because Microsoft owns it. It's included with the product, right? So that makes sense. They're not going to support it for free. Microsoft has to support it. So, you know, it makes sense. They've done some kind of contract where they don't have to support it anymore, at least for the 24 version. So these are the normal steps that we do, everybody. We introduce you to the product first, give you a few of the details of the inside of the product, and then we do the 7 steps to learning a new aircraft. Howard's 7 steps to learning a new aircraft. And we'll start out by stepping you through some of the unique systems that are involved here with this, including how to get used to using the multifunction displays. There's lots of them. And then in cockpit orientation, we'll look at a few more features like its parachute system. The Cirrus line of airplanes are known for its parachute system, which actually do work. And at the end of this session, I will be pulling the parachute and letting the thing fall to the ground. And we'll see how that works if you hang in there long enough with me. All right, so cold and dark for sure for full flight demonstration, landing and shutdown, and then I'll just spawn in the air and pull the parachute just to show you what that looks like at the end. That's how it's going to work. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's interesting, Ace says. Hop in and out of slew and see if that sorts you out. Yeah, we still got glitches. Actually, you guys, I've been telling people on forums when I help them out that even though Sim Update 1 is out, if you look at the fixes on your release notes, the main screen release notes, you'll see all the things it fixed. There's a ton of things it fixed, and they got those out right away. Here we have them now. They also increased the how much you get paid for each mission. They've increased all that. Everybody's getting paid a lot more now. And they've done a lot of fixes, but career mode still has a lot of those same anomalies. They still have things that are just not right that get people upset. They haven't fixed any of that stuff yet. That'll come out in the bigger update that's coming later this month. You know, I mean, a few weeks ago we were saying in March. No, now it's March. And so hopefully those things will be out soon also. Anyway, this plane we're flying tonight, everything's working fine. We're going to go take it for a flight, show you what's up. The unique thing about it, as you can see here, is that engine on the back. I've seen one of these up close and personal. So did a lot of us who were at FS Expo 2023. Yes, 2023. We were in Houston. And one of these was in the museum right there in front of us, pure red. And it was gorgeous and a lot bigger than we thought it would be. A single engine. Now, you know, a lot of planes have two engines for redundancy, for safety. We all learn what single engine operations are all about in case one engine dies. What is the backup system here if one engine dies? Well, we have a parachute system, and the parachute system is for the whole plane. And there have been something like, for the Cirrus SR-22, there's been something like 128 activations of those parachutes. Now, I find that surprising because the plane is going to land wherever it lands. When you pull that parachute and it finally slows its forward momentum down and just hangs in the air, you're going to see a video of this, you know, at the end of the stream today that I took a few minutes ago. They're going to land wherever they're going to land, like Farmer's Field, top of a barn, who knows where. Not a good thing, you guys. And so do they look down below and go, okay, we're over a field, go ahead, pull the chute? I hope they do. But in real life, they actually do, so far in the SR-22, 128, something like that, activations. Now, all pilots are taught to glide. We're all taught how to do a Mayday emergency off-field landing. We're all taught that again and again and again till it's second nature. We don't have to look at a checklist. We know the whole procedure. We know what to do first, second, third, cause check, Mayday call, passenger briefing, figure out your points to come in to land, all the rest of it. And we're tested on that before we get our PPL. So every single pilot knows how to take any airplane and glide it in to land in case of an engine failure. Here they have parachutes. And apparently they won awards for it. So that's a pretty cool thing, right? Actually, Surly Dev, it's kind of interesting. If the pilot is dead in here, if there's only one pilot, you can hit their automatic landing system, which will land the plane at an airport and take care of radio communications. So that's a nice feature too, only in the G2 Plus. And that's actually what I should be putting up here. This new version of the plane is actually a G2 Plus. Just so you know, that's a really nice feature. Whoops, wrong one. Let's put in a plus there. There we go. That's what it should be. Okay, so, but the parachute system too, in the event of there's no other way to get back to the ground, or if you're going to crash, might as well pull the parachute, right? All right, let's go take a look at this. This is the Flight FX and the 2020 version of picking the airplane. That's what it looks like in the 2020 version. In the 2024 version, certainly looks like this. And quite interesting, you guys, and it might explain why I don't have the Aviator Edition for some reason, because I only have the red one. I only have this red one. And in career mode, that's all I have also. I don't have the option for any other configuration, where Andrew's got the blue one. I know Noiseboy Mike has 3 different configurations. I've got a screen of that. Maybe that's the next screen coming up. Did I include it? I don't think I included it, Mike, after I told you I would. But anyway, the 2024 version, I've only got the executive seating one, so that must be because I've got the Premium Deluxe version, not the Aviator Edition. That's my guess.
I have Premium Deluxe, and I have 3 variations and 5 or 6 liveries.
How'd you do that? Because Surly Dev says he's got Aviators and only 1 VisionJet, so same as what I've got. So something's weird, you guys.
I've only got 1 VisionJet, but I've got 3 different variations of the plane, plus 5 or 6 liveries.
Okay. Plus 5 or 6 liveries, and that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Well, I'm not sure why.
The one I'm in right now is the family seating.
Right.
Yeah, so that's same as me. Family, executive, and
show me inside, Andrew. I got your screen up.
Just give me a sec. Too many buttons and I don't know where I'm at. There we go.
Probably your back skin.
If I look behind.
Yeah, look at that. and his weight and balance will be very different than ours. We've got the executive seating, you guys, but there you go. There's 3 in the back, 3. I think it says 2 adults and 3 kids.
Yeah, I've
2
got-
pilots,
I've got-
2 adults, 3 kids in that.
Yeah, I have 5 seats in the back.
Yeah.
Two
that's-
two in the 2 singles and then a row of 3.
And then still lots of room. Lots of room. Installed in Marketplace? I don't know. Is premium shown as installer? Yeah. In this one, I just noticed right now, Aviator is shown as an upgrade for $128. Like, wait a second, I paid good money for this. Anyway, so this is what we've got, you guys. Whichever one you're going to fly, everything I'm teaching tonight should be the same. And, with slight variations because of the sim itself, right? Light jet single engine unveiled in 2007 at the EAA AirVenture Oshkosh Air Show. And it was revolutionary. I was like, single engine, single jet engine? I don't know. But man, is it luxurious. Interesting, if you go look at the story of this, and I'm not going to bore you with the whole story of the evolution of this plane and how it finally came to be, but it had lots of financial troubles along the way. It wouldn't be until 2016, so 9 years later, when it received its FAA certification, and then the G2 Plus, which we're seeing now. Anyway, its headquarters and its main manufacturer facilities are in Duluth, Minnesota, which is where I flew out of the last time I did this lesson a year or 2 ago. This time I'm flying it out of the facilities where it does all its testing. Now let me say this, you guys, we're doing this in one evening and we're going to go fly the thing, right? Like we do in our Tuesday lessons. When you go to this testing facility where they have all the simulators and they have a whole bunch of these on the tarmac, you're going to spend a few weeks there getting type certified. A few weeks, everybody. These are full days, a few weeks. And we're doing all this in one evening, so we can't possibly go as deep as they do. We can't possibly go through all our emergency checklist stuff. There's so much stuff that they cover. Keep that in mind in real life. Pilots do not just spend an evening and go, I'm good, let's go for a test drive, right? It's just so you know. Anyway, receiving awards for being the greatest achievement in aeronautics in America. The first certified single-engine jet. Single-engine jet, there we go. No doubt you're living in luxury. Luxury. There is a video. I'm going to hold on that. We had a delay because the marketplaces opened up and we did some of that at the start of our stream. Then my sim crashed. We got delays. So I'm going to hold off on this. This is a great video, you guys. You want to capture. Oops. I'm not even on the right screen. This is a great video. You want to capture this barcode and go and check it out yourself at your leisure. They take you into this luxurious jet, and this is quite the lengthy thing here, like a 13-minute video on this. Let me just come back for a second to the previous screen. This is what I was on when I was talking about its financial troubles in 2016. I didn't realize you couldn't see my screen. You were still looking at Andrew's. But anyway, go see the video. It's a lot of fun, and we'll just hold off on that for now and see how our time goes today. The inspiration, it did come out from the first model in 1988, the pusher propeller version. This was a pusher propeller version, and it was a home-built VK30. That's where this was inspired from back in the day, right? And it was a turboprop prototype, ST50, So that, they started with that, and then they said, let's just put a jet engine on the back. Now, you guys, there is a home-built single jet engine aircraft also unveiled at Oshkosh. I think it was even 2 years ago when I was there, and or maybe the year before I was there. And it's a home built. You can build yourself, so you can have almost the same sort of thing in a home built. Smaller, of course, but it's got a jet engine on the back. Anybody know the name of that aircraft? Let me know. I can capture your head, but not the QR. Okay, sorry. I see it on my screen plain as day, but I don't. Let me just go where I should be. There we go. That's the screen I should be on. There we go. Yeah. Thursday, while I was listening to your stream, I saw the SpaceX ship explode. Yeah. Yeah, we saw it go out of control. We were doing a watch. We were doing a stream watch on that. And yeah, the booster came back, but the main payload did not. That was a lot of money. You know how much money they just blew up? Bothers me. Bothers everybody. Anyway, there's the QR code if you need it. That's the one of many real YouTube videos on it. All right, reviews compared it to a single-engine turboprop, and they're actually the real pilots are saying the same thing. You guys, they're saying treat it like a turboprop. as far as altitude goes, as far as distance, as far as all speed, everything else, because they're saying that it handles and its characteristics are the same as a turboprop with the convenience and the reliability of a jet engine. Sounds like a marketing ploy to me, right? Yeah, Super Die. Yeah, there's going to be all of that kind of talk. Yeah. You were driving and saw the bloom in the sky. Really? You actually saw that? Subsonic Super Tie, you're absolutely right. I flew in the sim after I first mentioned it. Yeah, you flew it. I flew it after you mentioned it. There we go. Who's on first? Yeah, and we have it in the sim. Yeah, that's it. That's a beautiful, beautiful baby. Anyway, here's some design information. The V-tail is very unique about it. And if you think about it, you guys, if it's going to have a single engine thrusting, then it's good to get those vertical and horizontal surfaces at the rear of the plane out of the way. And that's what they've done. You know, a lot of people look at this and go, wait a second, that's like the Bonanza, the V-tail, the Doctor Killer, you know, the G35, you know, it's like, yeah, similar to that, but with jet engine reliability, right? The interior is quiet, it's luxurious. As you heard already, up to 7 occupants, depending on the configuration that it has. A whole aircraft ballistic parachute deployed from the aircraft's nose, and 3 have been activated to date. Well, this is when we did this. This note I haven't updated, so this could be more than 3 have been activated to date of the VisionJet. I was quoting you the SR-22 stuff, right? First to employ the Garmin Safe Return Autoland Systems. That's probably called the SRAS, the SRAS, if they use that expression. System was activated with a cabin ceiling switch, and we'll show you what that is. That doesn't work. I've tried it in 2024, but the parachute does. We're going to go see that in action. It's going to be fun. Now, this is from the Flight FX manual. I'm going to use it because we're talking about both airplanes, you guys. We're talking about the 2020 version and the 2024. This is the manual from the 2020 version. You can have this manual. I have a link for it in a second. First, I just want to show you a couple of things. You can read about the other stuff. We're going to focus on the engine in a minute. I want to get down here to performance. Takeoff in 2,000 feet. Well, it depends on the conditions, of course, the density, altitude, the runway conditions, etc., etc. I'll put in a comfortable 3,300 feet in my initialization with a full load, if I will. But the point is that the runway we're taking off from, I think, is 9,000 feet. We got lots of room. You know, it's only when you get down to the smaller runways you have to really think about it, right? Climb rate, 1,600 feet per minute, if your passengers can take it. When you think about 1,600 feet per minute, I don't know, is that 45 degrees? I don't know. It's like, are you ready for takeoff? Literally, we're heading to the moon. But anyway, maximum operating altitude, 31,000 feet. Stall speed with flaps. It's good to know these numbers. These are just the number. There's plenty more numbers we're going to show you in a minute, but these are the main ones, right? We need to know stall speed with flaps, but we just have to watch the airspeed indicator. When you're getting below that white indicator, when your flaps are on, you're going to stall. It's simple as that. And I love the fact that they do that to airspeed indicators, right? Maximum cruising speed of 311 knots. I love it. I love it. I love it. When you land, you need at least 1,600 feet. Most of us would need more than that. So if you're landing at a 2,500 foot runway, get down on the numbers. Get down on it. Get down on it. It is impressive. I don't have reverse thrust configured. I don't know if it can do reverse thrust. I would think maybe not, because it'll push all that stuff forward. It might even affect the fuselage. I have no idea. But I couldn't do it on my configuration with my Bravo. But I still stopped, no problem. This thing is very agile. I do want to mention a couple things here. So within 5 flight hours, the AOA, angle of attack vane, had come loose. This thing on the right side, when you do your walk around, you look at it. It came loose in 3 incidences where stall warnings and stick shakers were activated. It's like, oh my gosh. And this is the same problem they had with the 737 MAX groundings. You guys remember that? Same thing here, the AOA indicator thing. Yeah, that thing. But unlike the 737 MAX, the electronic stability control system could be overridden with pilot inputs. The pilots can take over and manage the plane, resulting in safe landings in all 3 incidents. Yep. Surly Dev says no reverse thrust, yeah. If I'm being accurate and put accurate pilot weight mine in the BD5J, it's overweight by more than 42% with more than 42% fuel. We have to put in realistic weights, you guys, and it's the hardest part as a pilot. I don't typically ask my passengers what they weigh unless I've got 3 whole passengers in my 172. Not my 172, the one I'm renting at the time. If I've actually got 3 passengers, I will ask their weights or guess them. Because you got to, if you only have 2 passengers and maybe a couple of golf bags, you don't worry about it. Your weight and balance will be fine. But in here, in the initialization, I am going to put in probably 200 pounds per person, right? And it averages out, right? So whether they're male or female. Yeah, you happen to notice who's flying the plane, you guys, up here. You happen to notice who's flying the plane up here. This is obviously a 2020 version of the plane in MSFS 2020 with the ForderLearnToFly avatar. Isn't that cool? I miss it. I miss it. And some of you won't even recognize who that is up there. You know what I mean? Fly early in the morning before breakfast. That's it, Mike. That'll make a difference. You guys, I was a Weight Watchers leader for 8 years, many years ago. For 8 years, I led every Saturday morning before I started doing Saturday morning group flies. Every Saturday morning, I'd lead about 100 ladies and a few men in Weight Watchers, how to lose weight properly. And you know what? They didn't eat either until they weighed in first. They weighed in first, and then they ate while the meeting was happening. It's a thing, yeah. There are a variety of liveries. MS 2020 selections are shown here. Obviously, a bigger variety than we have in 2024. So, this is what it looks like in 2020. And as I mentioned to you, this is what it looks like in 2024. This is Mike. I did include it. This is Noiseboy Mike's picture of his configuration. He has all of them, just like Andrew does. He has all of them. I don't know how. I don't know how you guys are pulling this off. 2 of us in chat right now apparently we have the Aviators edition, and we still only have 1 red executive, and that's it. 7 occupants, a little unrealistic. Most of them are small children. Yeah, the 3 in the back, they do actually say it right in the brochure, and room for 3 children, right? So, children probably meaning toddlers. But, anything further back from C of G obviously has to be lighter. Even your baggage has to be lighter. Everything has to be lighter that's going to weigh the plane down, and that could be Andrew's problem right now. It weighed the back down.
No, I think it was too close to the building, because when I backed it up,
Okay.
it went fine. So
You can be a passenger, Surly Dev, but we cannot have anybody else. Don't be divulging that. You're never supposed to tell your weight. Never, never. And that's what I was saying to you guys. It's an embarrassment. You're not supposed to ask your passengers their weight. Excuse me, ma'am, before you get on my plane, how much do you weigh anyway? Can you imagine? First you're going to get slapped, and then they're going to ask for a refund. So, you're going to have to guess. And you get pretty good at it. Now, in normal, like you're taught this as a pilot, you are taught to guess people's weight. Standard weights apply. When I learned back in the 90s, standard weights are 180 per person, and you add 20 pounds for winter clothing in the winter. So it'd be 200 pounds per person. And it averages out male or female, like females typically are lighter and males are typically are heavier. And, you're supposed to just guesstimate like that. And you're supposed to guesstimate on their luggage. But, in a 172, I remember on my flight test in a 150, you guys, in my flight test, an examiner and I, both of us around 180 pounds at the time, and I had to have half fuel in the tanks to do my flight test, and they were looking for it. They were looking to see if I was actually doing the weight and balance properly. And the plane that they gave me intentionally had full fuel. They pulled it out of the hangar. It was in the middle of February at the time, lots of snow around and everything. They pulled the plane out of the hangar. I did the walk around right there outside the hangar door, and it was full fuel. I said, take it back. I need a different one. What? They act surprised, but I think they planned it that way. And I said, I need one with half tanks or less. There's 2 of us already. And 2 full-grown men shoulder to shoulder in the 150. And, right then and there, I probably passed my check ride before I even started the engine, because we did it right. So, in this sort of thing, all planes, they still do weight and balance, you guys. In a Dash 8, as a passenger, I'm sitting in 1A at the front, and the pilot actually came back into the cabin area and said, we need some of you in the front seats to move further to the back. Seriously, they'd already moved baggage around to help, but they knew that they needed to move some passengers further back. We paid for those seats at the front, you know what I mean? But we moved anyway, just because we're not going to leave until it's done. They're not going to leave. So you'll encounter the VisionJet in career mode in MSFS 2024. That's a picture of career mode, me flying one of the missions. And as you can see, I should have washed the plane before I left. I'm sure the passengers would not like that. It's like, ew, do we have to get in there? So, you know, it's a VIP mission, you guys. You're going to get that. The stilettos and everything. Anyway, that's the mission steps. For some reason, this picture is compressed, but yeah, it should be a little longer. Anyway, career mode. Now, let's talk about the engine, all right? Do they moan if it's too dirty? I haven't seen that yet, but it could be in the stats at the end, customer satisfaction or cargo integrity. It's the two of the things they mark you on. If you do steep turns all the time, then you're going to see cargo integrity go down. I have done a helicopter thing where I released the trim and the helicopter went whoosh like this. And of course the person in, you know, the lady in the helicopter was, oh, I don't feel very good, you know, and there was all this moaning and crying, and it was like, suck it up, buttercup, but she couldn't hear me, right? So, you know, it was okay. So I didn't turn the intercom on. No, I did get a low score on customer sat on there, right? Yeah, a terrain escape maneuver. So this is the turbofan engine that's in it, you guys. This is the one. And it's interesting when you see a picture like this, you go, wow, that looks pretty big. Wait till I show you the next picture of two technicians working on it. This thing looks like a toy. Certainly powerful, certainly, you know, the thrust and the reliance, the dependability of a jet engine. 1,800 pounds of thrust is amazing, right? These are used in a lot of other similar kinds of airplanes. The Sport Jet 2, the Eclipse 700, we've seen that. The Epic Elite, the Diamond D-Jet, I mean, you know, revolutionary. And it has its own anti-icing system, and it also has its own fire retardant system around the circular part of it, which gives you 15 minutes of flight if there was a fire. So, you know, you hit the fire extinguisher, you can still fly for 15 minutes and get to the ground quick. The anti-icing system will activate once we're airborne. Same with the pitot tube, you guys. A lot of people turn on pitot tube and they don't think anything of it in the sim. In real life, during the walk around, we will first turn on the pitot tube. We'll go out and put our hand around it and feel it warming up. Doesn't get hot, it gets warm. And once it gets warm, okay, it's going to work. We go back and turn it off right away. All right, that's our test. And then we do the rest of the walk around, right? And that's the sort of thing we do. Here in the VisionJet, you don't leave it on the ground for more than 5 minutes. So you don't turn it on during your normal startup checks and taxiing. You turn it on when you're ready to take off or after you've taken off. All right, you certainly do want the pitot tube heat, certainly as the weather changes and the weather's humid and all the rest of it. But you don't want any surprises on takeoff. So to me, I would do it at the hold short. And as I'm taking off, needles are alive. You see your airspeed is alive. Obviously, the pitot tube's working properly. And you can abort if you want while you're still on the runway. So keep this in mind. It's a safety thing, you guys. It's just a little tiny thing, but it's a realistic thing. And this is what I like about flying in the sim. I like to do it as realistic as possible. So for those of you who wish to buy one of these engines and put it on your own airframe, $420,000 US, and you've got yourself a brand new engine. The MSFS world is really dirty. I have to constantly wash my planes. And Mike says I've never washed one. So, you know, maybe we don't have to wash them. I do the maintenance regularly, all the time, all my planes. I know Oz had to reduce his fleet because it was taking too much time, but I do all the maintenance so that they all can fly all the time, and that helps with passive. And at the same time, I just wash them anyway. I don't know. In real life, yeah, passengers would complain. They'd go, you know, you don't take care of the look of the plane. You obviously don't take care of the plane. You know, that's just the impression, right? Surly Dev says, I do the poor man's airplane car wash. I just fly through the rain. And you guys, I've done this before here in Florida. It was like, it's going to rain later this afternoon because it's a hot day. So I just pull the car out from my carport and I just leave it out in the rain. You know, you don't have to get out there and scrub like some people do. Just come on, relax. You know, we're in Florida. Anyway, so this is, it might be interesting to some of you to see a picture like this. This is the inside of the actual jet engine, and this is your typical three-stage, your compressor at the front, your turbine at the back. You can see that the accessory is pulled off of one of them somewhere. And the one thing in here that I was surprised at is called the fuel slinger. It's the fuel slinger. You know, the interesting part about some of these turbofans or turbojets or turbo shafts, the interesting part is that sometimes they burn the fuel and send it out forward, and then it's turned around and sent behind them outside the cowling. It's like, what? And so you would think that'd be part of their thrust vector or their thrust initiative. But pretty fascinating that all of this happens. We know it happens in the bigger jet engines and all the 737s and all these other bigger planes that we see out there. But to have it in this small an engine, to this small of a jet engine, is an amazing feat. Take a look at this picture here. This is the size of it right here. This is it. This sits on the back of the airplane. And I wanted to put this picture in there because it shows the perspective of how big it really is. It's like a toy jet engine. What shall we put this on? Oh, look at that cute little SF-50. Let's put it on there. Let's just put it on the back, just one. And so, you know, this is how it evolved. And there they are working on it. Get an idea of the scale of the thing. Let's see. I wanted to show you this, you guys, the engine indications, because this is an important part in our checklist. I've taken this right out of the Garmin guide. You can have Garmin guides for this. Look for the SF-50 Garmin Perspective GPS Touch. It's a touch system, all right? And for that reason, we can actually use our mouse to flick the screens and stuff. But you'll notice on here a couple of things that we really need to know, and this is why I zoomed in on here in the manual itself. The engine indications are important that we look at this. First, everything's in the green. That's always important, especially during your first takeoff roll. You're making sure, obviously, you're making sure airspeed is alive. You're also making sure, and you've heard this expression before, I use it all the time, needles are alive, because it isn't just about airspeed. That's obviously important as you're rolling down the runway, but it's about everything being in the green. And the very first thing that needs to be in the green is your engine oil pressure. Not the temperature necessarily. That'll warm up even more along the way, but the pressure of your oil, if it's not there, you shut down within 30 seconds. In most airplanes, it's right in your checklist, right? So that's what we're checking here, all right? And then there's other things that we need to check. And here they're talking about this engine indication system. I think that's what the EIS stands for, engine indication system, which is really all of this. But although the bottom part of it really is other indicators, so really it's the engine indication. We have our single lever FADEC system, which makes it convenient. A lot of automation going on in this plane, so it is easy for people, the newbie, to get in here in career mode and just control E and go. You know, they can do that because a lot of things are automated for us, right? But here you can see oil pressure on the far right. So the first two things I look at, first of all, I see that the thrust vector is moving, or certainly, sorry, the percent thrust needle is moving when I advance it. Then I notice my airspeed coming alive, and I look here to make sure this stays in the green. It's the three things I look at in whatever plane I'm in. All right, I'm seeing that the RPMs are increasing if it's just a conventional piston plane. Then I'm seeing the airspeed indicators now come alive after 20 knots or whatever, and I notice that my oil pressure is still in the green. And these are the indicators you look for. Now, as you're rolling down the runway, you're looking at other things. They talk about in here N1, N2, which is very common expressions. They talk about the stages of the jet engine itself, and we're looking at the RPMs of those, or at least a percent of that. That's what they're showing us here, the speed of it. Interstage turbine temperatures, ITT, you'll see that in a lot of other planes like turboprops, like the TBM 900 series uses ITT also. Your temperatures are in Celsius, so that's in degrees Celsius, which the majority of the world understands, all right? Anyway, so that gives you an idea of what we're looking for, and we're going to go see this, and we're going to do the checklist items to make this happen. Well, we've got this screen up. You might as well see our landing gears, 3 in the green. Our trim is set for takeoff in that little green indicator area, if you can see where my pointer is. My flaps are set for takeoff, which is 50%. Typically in landing, they'd be at 100% on this plane. And you can see cabin pressure information. So that's important also along the way. The PW610F off the Eclipse 500 is tiny compared to this, really. That is cool. Didn't know that. It's even smaller, and so, of course, is the Sonex one, right? I think I'll put 2 of those engines on your 172, Mike says. No problems keeping up in the Saturday group fly. I think we should all take this thing out on Saturday. What do you know what I mean? And we'll head to Amazon. We'll head to Brazil, you know, and see the new update. You know what I mean? If our sim doesn't crash. So weight and balance in 2020, this is the old screen. I haven't seen one of these screens since November when 24 came out. I haven't flown 2020 at all. But it's a great screen. I love this screen. You can put in all your data and everything goes. Now we would use the tablet, you guys, in all your planes. In this plane, we've got an initialization section. I will mention that if you use the tablet to do your weight and balance, it does not transfer the passenger weights over into the VisionJet. So you got to put them in manually in the VisionJet, which I'll do during our checklist items. Quite honestly, you guys, yesterday, I'm going to say yesterday at noon, I still hadn't started the plane. I needed to figure out how to manage all the screens. I needed to figure out how to get it started properly from cold and dark. And so that was a hurdle. And then taking pictures of things along the way so that I can make my presentation. So, you know, these are the things. It took more hours to get the thing ready for the lesson than it did to actually fly the thing. So, you know, many people just start it up and go, what's the big deal? Here we see the two ways to do this. Now here's the tablet. This is your typical way for no matter which aircraft you have. You go to the aircraft icon, you go to mass and balance, and in mass and balance, seats, cargo, fuel, and empty, and you know, you go in and start filling. I don't know what quick fill does, but anyway, you go in and fill these. I would click this and put in 200. You know, this is the 4 seats I'm in right now in the executive version that I'm in. Definitely put in my 200 here, and I think I have one other passenger, and so I put that in here. And then I've even tried load-in aircraft, but I look over here and I look at weight and balance, and those numbers didn't come over, so that's fine. We're going to go through what real pilots do anyway. They don't do it from here and tell them to load in aircraft. They do use tablets. They do use an app. I don't know if I've even put the picture up here of the app, but there is an app for this plane for real if you want to check the real stuff, you guys. And I can find that for you right away. And it's called, can't find it for you right away. Okay. So, no, it's not my E6B. Anyway, I think it's called the SF50. I'll just find it right over here. In my recently added here. Yep, got it. And so in here, oh yeah, here I am looking at it. You can't even see it. Give me a second to show you that. I'll dump it up here and let you see this in action. Right here, right there, and right there. So you can see this is a real app of the real plane. I'll just make that smaller so you can see it going on there. And you can see the takeoff weight, takeoff fuel, payload. So you can do this for real on the thing. Look at the bottom of the screen here, takeoff, landing, settings, and about. So let's just go to the about. This is the Cirrus SF50 Vision G1 through G2 Plus. And this was actually made by the pilot who made the video. So thanks, Andrew, for pointing me to that video. I think you and Ace both pointed me to it. And I was listening to him talk about, hey, he made the app. So it's like, oh, cool, let's go check it out. And so you'll see when you start working with this, it helps to see the real deal. All right, you can see in here ground roll total distance and your VX and your VYs. And I think it's handy to have something like this, a great app that you can use. And we've got already in the sim enough to work with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the tablet, you guys. I'm going to use the built-in avionics, the GTC2 here in this case, and I'll go in and fill in all of our initialization that we're supposed to fill in right here, and then I'll accept the initialization. All right, let's do it properly the way the real pilots do. All right. And I'm guessing that after an update comes sooner or later that the tablet can push it into the where it's supposed to go. Now, set that over here. Let's go back to here now. Let's see. What are you saying? Meyer Flyer, you gotta go. That's too bad. A meeting. Tell your boss it's okay. Bring your boss. Bring your boss. I'll have a chat. Okay. Just like I do with Foxtrot. His boss actually knows me. I've never spoken to her, but his boss knows me. He keeps saying, Howard says I gotta go now. So start that, okay? Start that dialogue if you can, if you have a good relationship with your boss. Weight and balance in MSFS 2024. I'm loving it. Well, I'm just using the Cirrus for this, you guys. You saw it in the tablet. Here it is in the Cirrus. What I really like about it, here's your weight and balance before you put in any data. I've got 0 weights in here for pilots and baggage, etc. And it shows no data so far. As I put in the weights here, weight and balance is done on this screen. I'll show you that manually live. Then it starts giving you a graph of your weight and balance up on one of your screens. And then you can certainly remove that afterwards. We're going to learn about these screens. Look at the avionics in here is exceptional. It's wonderful. I love it. But there is a lot of automation going on. Once you set the auto throttle and get rolling, you pretty much sit back and just make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. Right down to the landing, you guys. So I'm still going to intervene. I'll probably do an ILS, but I'll still intervene the last 200 feet or something, you know, the normal type of ILS landing, and put it in manually. But we'll see how it goes as we go along. But we'll get into these screens. I'm going to show you how to manage them all. And that's what we'll do in tonight's lesson. Okay, so let's go through the 7 steps. I'm going to go briefly through the 7 steps because I have links to get the manuals if you want the manuals. I have a link to go get the checklists from flightsim.to if you want those. But let me say this, you guys, the checklists are built into the plane. You put them right up on the screen, right in the sim. So they're all there. You just check, you know, part of what I was stumbling around with yesterday was how do you advance the checklist items? How do you make them green with a check mark? You right click the little moving dial. Yeah, okay. Nowhere it said to right click anything. So, you know, I had to figure stuff out, and that's what I'm here to help you with, right? So you can see the 7 steps. We don't have to worry about step number 3, how to handle twin engines if equipped. I leave that in there because it is one of the 3 steps, one of the 7 steps in all planes if it has twin engines. But we will learn about engine handling down here in number 5. And again, so many things are automated here. It's amazing. All right, and then taking it for a spin, and that's what we really want to do, you guys. So I'll break it into 2 demos here. The first demo will be the initialization, get it running, let it roll, let it run. And then we'll come back and finish a couple more things, and then we will jump on the radio and get moving. All right, and that's the idea behind it. This is the real flight manual for the Cirrus Perspective Touch avionics system and this baby. You notice in here it says flight level 310 maximum operating altitude. This is our baby. This is the one. It's the real deal. And if you type in, or one of you type in, like Surly Dev just did, POH Vision in chat, you'll get this PDF. I found it. I sent a note to wherever I found it. They said no problem distributing it. I tell them I share stuff on my stream, and you guys can have this thing. Not a copyright issue, and I have to always be careful of that. So the Pilot's Operating Handbook, I just had a person today ask me, what's a POH? They had no idea. There's specific speeds for taking off, specific speeds for landing. And so what is all this, you know, and what's a POH? Had to explain things from scratch. The Pilot's Operating Handbook, or something called the AFM. Now in there you'll find stuff like this. Here's one of the pages here on page 5-25, one of your performance charts, where we would have to reference this. What's our outside temperature? What's our pressure, altitude in feet of the airport that we're at? And here's our distance in feet for our takeoff, or our standard takeoff weight. And so, you know, you look at these kind of charts, and what you really want to do is you want to find the grid that matches what your configuration is. And sometimes you may even have to interpolate that because it might be between 2. You might be at 1,500 feet for pressure altitude. And we have to what's called interpolate and say what's a value halfway between those 2 numbers. For instance, in here at 1,000 feet, you can see in here our total takeoff roll here is 3322. Now, typically in this plane I put in 3,300. Depends though if you're at a higher altitude airport. At 2,000 feet, it's saying it's 2572. Why is that? Oh, sorry, 36. I was going to say, why is it less? It should be more. It's a higher altitude. So here it's a higher altitude of 300 feet more for your ground roll. And so if I were at 1,500 feet, you can guess that somewhere in between 33 and 36 for your ground roll. And you're going to have to, you know, think about that. Is my runway long enough? These are the things that pilots do. We're not going to go through all this. Today I'm going to just plug in 3,300 feet for my ground roll, right? I don't know what my altitude is. Who knows? But if it's up around 5,000, I'm going to change this number. But, you know, that's what we typically do in real planes. We look at this stuff, and after a while we might have standard configurations because we fly out of that same airport all the time, right? So keep that in mind, you guys. This is one of the reasons for the POH. The other is all your checklists are in there. This is written by the manufacturer, you guys. This document is always written by the manufacturer. They follow the standard steps. If you look at the table of contents, general information first. When you get to section 3, that's emergencies. You get to section 4, those are normal operating conditions, normal procedures. You know, that's the standard layout of these POHs. and the manufacturers follow that, and you'll learn everything you need to know about the airplane when people ask questions. In a classroom, my standard answer in ground school sessions that I've taught and in sim sessions that I've taught, the standard answer when people say, what's the ground rule at this airport? What do you think I tell them? What does it say in the POH? That's my stock answer. I don't memorize the tables. I could probably tell them what I use, but I want them to go find it, all right? Now, there is an aircraft flight manual made by FlightFX for the 2020 version, which you can also use in 2024. They won't know. And it comes with the airplane in 2020 in their documentation folder. If you type in !AFM, then you will see it and grab it if you wish to have it. Again, I sent them a note. I didn't get a reply. So in this case, go ahead and use their manual. Certainly don't publish it. Certainly don't sell it. Then you're breaking copyright. There's also a couple other free manuals by Garmin. I always go to these manuals when I want to know details about the avionics. I had to pour through these things. In the last 24 hours, I really went full blast because I needed to know some answers and I couldn't find them anywhere on using the avionics system and managing them. When you start using...
How far out, typically from the airport, do you lower your landing gear?
Is that you, Andrew?
Bonanza 5 Bravo Delta, you're cleared into the Knoxville McGee Tyson Airport Class Charlie airspace. Continue straight in towards the field. Descend at your discretion. I'll hand you to tower in just a bit. Expect runway 5 right.
Is that me?
Expect runway 5 right. This is Bonanza 5 Bravo Delta.
Let me just look at my volumes and I'll see if that's me, you guys. Miscellaneous? No, where do I find my volumes? Headset right here. When it comes on again, I'm going to pull it down, but is that one of you guys? I know it's very loud. It just blew my ears away.
Expect runway 5 right. This is Bonanza 5 Bravo Delta.
All right, I've turned down all
I had a
Bonanza 5 Bravo Delta, contact Knoxville approach on 123.9er.
That's not coming from...
Yeah, I didn't hear anything through Zoom. It was just on stream.
It's not through Zoom, which is not my mic. Okay. All right. Could very well be my Say Intentions is sitting in the background, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, Super Tie. I turned it down, yeah. Can't turn it off. We got to have to do something with it soon. All right. So, sorry, you guys. Blew me away, too. Let me tell you, I jumped a mile here. The real Garmin guides, if you wish to dive deeper, these are available. You can just do a quick search. You're looking for Cirrus Vision SF50 is what they are. And they're the Cirrus Perspective Touch by Garmin. I have a manual on this that I bought at Kissimmee Airport about 8 years ago because this was in, I think the Perspective Touch is also in the SR22. I don't remember why I bought that manual, but it's a real thick thing before I had these manuals to play with. And so I have another resource for that too. So I was doing a lot of homework to make this one happen, but you can browse it at your leisure with these guys. All right, let's talk about the V-Speed step number 2. It's loud and clear for what it's worth. Thanks, Ace. Learn the V-speeds. The rotate speed is 90. Well, it depends on your weight, but we're going to use generalities here that came out of their manual for the sim. I think it was 85 knots is what, when I put in all my weights, was the VRs. But, you know, we'll see as we go along. But generally around that landing speed full flap at 87 knots, we're going to try for these things as we go along. You heard about the stall speed being 67. As far as the rest go, you can see in here, after you've finally taken off, you've rotated 160 knots. I only really want to know, when I'm first learning these things, I only really want to know stall speed, rotate speed, climb out speed, and landing speed. I want to know those 4, all right? And then you learn, you know, best angle in case you have to go over obstacles. Best angle is always going to be less than your normal VY, all right? So you can see VY 160, that's a really nice clip as you're heading out from the airport and climbing. VX 91 over 50-foot obstacle, etc., right? You know your normal statistics for that. Remember, X is the steeper angle, all right? If you have to. Other than that, you can see in here maximum structural speed 300 knots. We're never going to get there. We're staying under 10,000 for this flight. We got to stay under 250, and the plane will do that for us. We're going to be putting it on auto throttle, and away we go. Cruise speed 300 knots. Wouldn't that be nice? We could take it up to 15,000 or something and go play. Sure, if you want to do that, you guys go for it. Interestingly enough, the maximum demonstrated crosswind is 16 knots, which I'm very surprised at. Again, we can handle something higher. Most people don't realize that when you hear the wind report, it isn't necessarily a crosswind only, unless it's completely perpendicular to your runway, your takeoff runway. And it typically is not, unless it's an airport that has no other option. All right, so plenty of airports where jets take off, plenty of airports have intersecting runways, and they'll find the runway that best aligns into wind. So your headwind is your biggest component, your crosswind is a subcomponent, and there's always some subcomponent of crosswind. And you know, we can play with that too if you really want to, right? Kiwi Craig says it was getting 299 knots at 26,000 for me this morning. Are you talking about for real? 300 knots at 26,000. I think you would find a different altitude, right? Right? Yeah. Surly Def says maximum landing gear extended speed. What's the max landing gear retracted speed? Yeah. Well, the point is that speed number, above that, your gear should be retracted. Below that, you can drop your gear. That's the point, right?
I get it. I get it.
Go ahead, Andrew. You started. I get it something.
No, it's just the maximum structural speed, 300 knots indicated. Cruise speed, 300 knots. You cruise at your maximum structural speed.
Maximum speed's 311. Never speed is 320. Maximum structural 300. Oh, I see. So when you're doing 311 or even 320, you're above maximum structural speed. Ooh!
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that, eh? Let's see. Not the speed of the landing, it's the number of landings that can be done retracted. Okay. The number of landings that can be done retracted. Okay, then. That's interesting. All right, so checklist, you guys. There's one built right in. It's wonderful. All right, and you can see in here there's a checklist item area down here on these smaller screens, and we'll learn what those are. They are GTCs, Garmin Touch Control screens, and these you have checklist items are all in there, and they're all built in. Looks a little different in 2024, but I'll show you how to advance it and how to move it and all the rest of it. You can get these from if you type in !Vision Checklist in Twitch chat. You can get these, and I'm really sorry in YouTube chat. I'm sorry I haven't addressed these. I don't know how to do shortcut chat commands in YouTube, but maybe maybe somebody or Srap can somebody or Srap, yeah, maybe Srap as our moderator, or Noiseboy Mike can copy some of these links and move them over to YouTube for our YouTube followers. That'd be great. Thank you. But anyway, these are from flightsim.to. It's a direct link to there, and you can download them from there. They were made for the 2020 version. I haven't tested them here. I've been using the built-in ones here. All right, engine handling. I've talked about the FADEX system here, your percent thrust at the top, the fact that it's all auto throttle, autopilot, auto everything. We're just watching the numbers, and we're making sure that everything stays in the green. And here I've got flaps up, but I've got gear down, so who knows? My pitch trim is way off, who knows? Since I have no flaps on, I'm going to guess that I'm not actually landing. I'm probably sitting on the ground waiting still. That's what this is, just by judging from it. But you have all the indicators right here, you guys. And they do have a name for this. It's engine instrument display or engine instrument system. Anyway, EIS display. You know, they got all these acronyms all over the place, but let's just call it our engine instrument area. Finally, we're over into the cockpit orientation, where we're going to go and do some stuff. You need to know where the stuff is, and this is part of what took me so much time to make the lesson, is I got to figure out orientation management of all of these things. You got to get control of it. I need to see a chart of the airport I'm headed to. How do I get that chart, and how do I get it on the right screen? You know, so you got to know where to get it and then where to put it. And the other thing I wanted to show you too is that you might want to put in your Navigraph account, so you can have built-in charts as you're seeing here in my watermark. So get to know where everything is. So let's just do an orientation now, and then we'll get into the plane, you guys, and we'll rock and roll. Some of these pictures I've pulled right out of the FlightX manual. This is the Flight FX manual from the people who made it for 2020. They label everything beautifully here. I can't do a better labeling job than they just did. So you can see in here the main screens. The left one, of course, where you're sitting is your main primary flight display. We all know about that with the G1000. A lot of us are used to that. We're used to calling this the MFD, the multifunction display, just like in the G1000. And our engine instrument system, or EIS, is right here. They don't have it labeled with a number here, but that's what it's called in the real POH. Down at the bottom here, on number 4, you see 4 and 5. This one's called the Garmin Touch Screen Controller. They just call it the GTC, Garmin Touch Controller. GTC 1, 2, and 3. All right, and these, we'll talk about how to use all 3 of them in a minute. Environmental control panel in number 5, right here, what simply means turning on your heat, your air conditioning, and whatever else you need to have happen there. Great big, easy to use dials that are right in front of us. And you can see over here, engine start panel, a very simple way to get things rolling. The part that surprises a lot of people is there is no yoke. Nice and clean, no caffeine. But you look over here, there's no yoke. They actually fly the plane with their left hand, and the throttle's in the right. Well, the interesting part is if you've got auto throttle, you don't even have to touch the throttle. There's the flap indicator at the bottom too. All right, and here's your auto throttle button right here at the top of number 9 here. You'll see it on the console. All right, so we've got all of that. So guess what? We're sitting back, everything's auto, we're just flying the plane. And in fact, if we're on autopilot, we're not even touching the stick. And we're just watching the instruments and making sure everything's working right, honestly, right? Number 7 is the most important one, right, Srap? The parking brake. Right, Mike? That's why Andrew chuckled. Right, Mike? We have this inside joke, you guys. So, all right, so that's it. And here's the real picture in 2024. That looks beautiful. Nice shot, Howard. And we're going to go and play with all these screens and just see what needs to be done. All right. The Garmin Touch Screen Controller. See? GTC, GTC, GTC. And the whole purpose of them is to figure out, from these touch screens, figure out what goes up on these screens. By default, your PFD shows what we expect on the PFD. Your MFD is typically for your map, your moving map, and your engine controls. In reversionary, I'm new at this, it's my primary language. In the revisionary mode, when there's a failure of your MFD, your engine instruments will come over. This is exactly the same as the G1000, right? So you'll see your engine instruments now show up over here, all right? Or if you're on emergency power, etc. But the point is, we will make selections in here, here, and the third one, and decide where they're going to show up. If I'm going to click charts right here, do I want them in this pane, or do I want them in that pane? All right, and then do I want this split pane? And this is the thing I had to keep ringing out yesterday. How do I split them? How do I unsplit them? How do I put them in the right place? I had to just pour through the manual and make this happen. All right. All right. What's a break? DNH says. So Control 1 if you're in 2020, Shift 1 if you're in 2024. All right. And it's not one for one, you guys. I really like the way 2020 did it. Here's Control 2, and we have Shift 2. All right, so far they're mapped the same. Okay, so far so good. It didn't pan out for all the views. Here's view number 3, and that's the last of the same views, either Control 3 in 2020 or Shift 3 in 2024, and then after that they change. I still like the way 2020 does it. Each of the control numbers give you important screens. Now in Shift 4, Shift 5, Shift 6 is like, okay, fine. We'll figure it out from there. But here it is in 2020 how it did all the screens properly. One of the shifts will give you this screen. You can see right there is our auto throttle. It says AT on it. Here we see our fuel control. It's set for auto also. Here's our pitch trim, nice big trim wheel. Here's your FADEC throttle system, which after you set it for auto, you don't have to touch it. And there's your flap indicator right there. Sweet! Over here on the left where you plug in your headset is the Hobbs meter. At the time of this picture, I only had 5 hours in the jet. You always record that before you start. Over here is our engine start screen. Believe it or not, look how, stop talking, Howard. All you got to do is click run and push this button. Yes, it's true. All right, after you've done all the initializations. It really is that simple. On top here, we see fire control stuff on the roof, lights, action cameras up there. Also, And here's a view from the passenger side looking up toward the pilots. During your passenger briefing, you've got to tell them, because they're right there and they can talk to you, you've got to tell your passengers not to talk to you during landing and takeoff, because you have to concentrate. You know, we call it sterile cockpit. They don't know what sterile cockpit means. They think maybe someone came and cleaned before they got in. So, you know, we have to just say in normal layman's terms why we can't have them talk to us during that. What's a half an hour? All right, and then now, there's where the circuit breakers are. And in real training, they're going to pop every one of them and see what you do. You know, you have training on all of this. We don't touch it. In the new 2024, we have these two things that need to be removed before flight. This is the emergency exit pin, and here is the parachute system pin. Don't pull the lever, pull the pin. And when you finish, one of the checklist items is put the pin back quick. So I did try it like I do for all lessons. I anticipate questions you guys might want to ask. So I have pulled this pin on the ground. The parachute did kind of all around the plane, and it was a mess. And I'm sure in real life they don't like you doing that. I also pulled the pin while I was on the runway, and then I also pulled the pin while I was in the air. So I've done some testing. Let's go take a look at the Safe Return Autoland system. This was that revolutionary, award-winning new feature. Allows passengers to land the VisionJet with just a touch of the button from their passenger seat. And I honestly don't like that. I can just see somebody going, what's this for? They're up there turning on their light. They're turning on their vent. And it's like, whoo, what's that? Click. So, you know, I would wonder if there is an override that the pilot turns on or off, but I guess there isn't, because it's there in case the pilot's incapacitated and the passenger's freaking out. What do I do now? They have a choice of two things. The auto land is the first choice, because it'll actually land the plane properly without damage. The second choice is the parachute system, which will land it wherever it lands and probably with damage. All right, because you're going to land somewhere in a tree or on a barn or in some parking lot or some highway, right? You saw a video the other day of a young woman taking her brother out in the plane for the first time, and the way she shushed him and stopped his horseplay was funny. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to throw you out the window. No, they didn't say that. Anyway, this is revolutionary. You could probably find a video of it actually in action, but you know, it will find the nearest safe airport, navigate to it, approach and land, and come to a complete stop, complete with radio communications, you guys. Holy moly. The future of aviation. Here's what it looks like. I did this afternoon, put this in there. These are parts of the lesson that Noiseboy Mike didn't see when he was doing proofreading. Oz Nomad didn't see when he was doing proofreading. Andrew, Ace, all the rest of them who had a quick look through my presentation. I put in extra stuff today. I spent the whole day because I wanted to get a real good handle on what its capabilities were. And I put this in. Now this is, I tried the Autoland, and all the screens changed to this, because obviously it's the passenger who did it, and all that matters to the passenger, if someone asks you over the speaker, who am I speaking with? It's me. And then it's like, and what's the airplane call sign? It says on the screen my aircraft ID is ForderLearnToFly. And so they'll go like, well, I guess he didn't teach it properly. So you look at this, and this is the emergency auto land, and believe it or not, it would actually be showing you coming into landing on here. There's a navigation screen. There's your PFD kind of screen with your instruments. Up here it says no airport found. So who knows? Does it work in 2020? I don't know if I ever tested it. But here it says use caps. Use caps. You can't read that, you guys. On here it says use caps, use caps, use caps. All down the list here says use caps. What's caps? Well, I think I'm going to show you, right? So here is what caps is. This is the Cirrus Airframe Parachute System, or short form CAPS, only in the G2 Plus. This is a real picture of a Cirrus SR-22 with the umbrella. I have a video of this airplane, using the CAPS system. I reached up and I pulled this lever and said, let's see what happens. And it was a lot of fun. All right. And it's literally going to throw a parachute out there and drop your plane down on the ground gently. Yeah. I would pull that hoping for a VisionJet baseball cap. What? Yeah, no, this is an SR22. No airport found, pull parachute. Oof. Ah. Eesh. Here's a picture of what I did in my video. I did a couple of shots in my video today. I looked up from the airplane to see it up above. There are actual wires there if you look closer when I zoomed in. And there it is, just hanging off the parachute, coming down to the ground. I'll show you that video right now. Let's go see it right now. So let's move over to the theater. Let's go to the theater. Oh, baby. I've got it here somewhere. Let's try here. And let's just do something here. I had it queued, but then I rebooted. Sure he did. Right here. I'm going to hold on for that for a second. Is it showing on the screen? It is. Let's get it full screen here. F11. Oh, is that full screen? Is that it? Is that all I got? Can I get rid of the bars? It's already full screen. Okay. Guess that's it. Let's go watch this. Take a look. This is in the sim, you guys, in 2024. Here we go. So I already tried the auto land. Didn't work. Here we go. Let's reach up and pull that lever. Oh no! Is there audio coming through? Guess not. There, the lever's pulled. And before it puts the parachute out, it slows the plane. You see that? It's doing that. That's the autopilot doing that. There goes the chute, out the nose. And you notice the nose is now hollow. Here's the part that I think is going to freak out any passengers that are in the plane. Like, are you kidding me? You notice the nose is wide open now. That's where the parachute was. Remember, there's no engine there. It's sitting on the back. And once it finally stabilizes, then the screaming stops. And then they can land gently. CAP system subscription payment method expired. Yeah. Enter your credit card details for CAPS deployment. Yeah, and then you enter your credit card details and it says declined again. Yeah. Kind of funny, yeah. Looks like a fun ride. Take my money. Yeah. But look at the screen, you know. I mean, it's showing you what's happening just like it would if it did the auto land thing. And here you are going straight down to a river. I don't know. Anyway, it's not much longer, you guys. But anyway, you want to see how it goes. I'm doing a few different shots here just to give you an idea what it looks like. And then I'll go up and have a look at the parachute also from with the drone camera. And it put the gear out. I mean, passenger wouldn't know how to do checklist items, right? So it put the gear out. It slowed the plane down. It threw the chute out. You notice that it was already nose high when it threw the chute out. And the chute went behind them, of course. There's what it looks like. And I thought I would just, I wonder if I can see it through that little hole in the top. And then we'll just go through the hole and just go down and see it down below. And I'll just see it down to the ground and then we'll finish the video from there. So that is a very interesting system. Obviously an expensive option. I don't know how much it would cost for them to reload that again into the jet, but they saved the cost of a jet crashing. I mean, the rest of us would have taken that in for a glide somewhere if it had a failed engine. But this is the cost of a single engine airplane. Single engine airplanes have to have something as a backup system other than gliding. So that's what they're doing here. They're giving you an option to be able to just take it down gently. Now, I would think before you even pull that, you should be talking to somebody over the radio. It's like, I don't know what to do. Well, there's a red lever up there. Before you pull it, make sure you're over a farmer's field, you know, because they could land in the river and drown. They could land on a highway and get run over because they're coming straight down on the highway. Unless the cars can see them coming down, they might get run over. So I still think that this, you know, there's certainly lots of variables here. But here, luckily, I'm landing in a farmer's field or some open field somewhere. A hull write-off, I think. Really rad. It does seem to put it down gently enough, but, you know, it's the sim, you guys. Whoosh. Yeah, that's gently enough. There you go. You're alive. Now, I don't finish the video to the very end. That thing does gently come down. There's no more weight on it, so it just gently falls and finally just lays on the ground all crumpled. All right, so, and you can see it's deflating already just on its way down. So that's pretty cool, you guys, that they actually have that in the sim. I don't know if this is using the technology in 2024. It has new variables now for balloon characteristics. It might be using some of those characteristics, or it's got its own. And maybe somebody can confirm to me whether this works in 2020. I don't know if it does for sure. But anyway, back to the classroom. We're done with that. That was a lot of fun. We had fun with that. How do I get out of here? Oops. Right there, I guess right there. Depends on the one you're using. Anyway, that's what that is. That's a very cool thing. Now in 2020, you have this virtual aircraft management system. It was the only tablet we had. Statistics, statics, which is your walk around, luggage, status, Bose, which was the sound system, the headsets that they use in there. They have to use Bose, you guys. It's an executive jet. It's class. It's expensive. Bose is the way to go. Those little earbuds that I was wearing, which I didn't have them hooked up to the right output, these little guys, these are Bose also. Love them. They work so beautifully. Full system sound. 2024 has the auto land, but still can't find an airport. Yeah, I did activate it, and that's the screen you guys saw. It still couldn't find the airport, right? But anyway. All right, so remember, this is the PFD, the MFD, GTC1, GTC2, GTC3. And the reason I'm telling you about this is because in the POH, it will say, go to your GTC3 and input the transponder frequency. It's like, oh, the third one. All right, and there are some differences here. You can do many things with the first two. The first two have a PFD, an MFD, and a NavCom. But you notice all three say PFD, MFD, and NavCom. But what you'd want to do is set up something that makes it easy, intuitive, even in an emergency, you would turn to the right one. So it would be to your taste. And what I've done for a simple memory aid is I have my PFD and my MFD. I'm going to call them 1 and 2. And so GTC1 will control PFD, GTC2 controls MFD, and this is my communications. All right, and that is the default for the thing too. Now, a lot of you do know from working with G3000 before that this kind of screen, you'll see these on other types of Garmin systems, where we see map, traffic, weather, direct to, flight plan is here, procedures are here. We're going to go into utilities and we're going to put in charts first. All right, it's one of the things you want to do first. And anything else, here's your sim brief link to put that in also so that we can do charts. And a lot of this stuff, I want it to show up on this right screen over here. So there's a pane. This dial here is used to move the pane or the window. Right now it's sitting in the left pane. I want it on the right pane, meaning I want it over here. So anything I click in here will show up over here. Anything I click in here, I want it to show up in here. And you notice this one doesn't show panes, whereas this one shows panes and this one shows panes. All right, these are interesting little details that I've uncovered over time when you're working with it. All right, I talked about that. Avionics and touch screens. And I think we can leave this alone now. All right, so choose which pane. I was talking about that. Here's a zoom in close up of here. And then you notice in here, I've got map on here. I've also got the aircraft status screen, which is there by default. And then I could go to, you see where it says map here. I could click on map, it's highlighted. And I could say half, and that's what gave me half a screen. This will stay on there all the time. So half a screen means half of this real estate. If I click it again to say full, it'll take the highlighted one, which is the map, and make it full. All right, that's good to know because you have to be able to find the data when you need it and where's it showing up and manage this thing. So we can have 3 different panes on here and we can move things around as we need it. You notice in here, I've got the checklist at the far right. I've got my charts here. And as a lot of you know with Navigraph charts, it shows you your plane in real time right on the actual chart while you're flying it. If I were flying this ILS right now, you would see my plane showing up in here somewhere in your profile view. I can see I'm either flying or ready to go. I've got I'm idle. I'm still on the ground ready to go, but I've got my trim set for takeoff, which was way below to start with. I've got 50% on my flaps. I'm ready to roll. Now, here I'm showing a screenshot of my phone. I did the scan. When this first came up, it gave me a scan code and said add your account. Down here in the settings, we'll do that as part of our init. And up here I had to say approve or whatever on my phone. And that's what we'll do. All right, time to go. Let's do it. And I want to mention to you, although this is the normal walk around, we're going to do the standard 2024 walk around of 3 items. We're going to pull off the pitot tube cover, we're going to pull off the engine cover, and we're going to pull off the chocks. And we'll jump inside, we'll open the doors, and away we go. But this is exactly what you do in a 172, the same procedure. You step out and you go in a counterclockwise direction and inspect everything along the way. But we're not doing all of that today. All right. Now, originally I had us going from Knoxville to Nashville, but that took way too long on a Tuesday night. I've got a shortened version now where we're going to Crossville instead. KCSV is our destination. All right, rock and roll. We'll go to our main screen now and let's rock and roll. Andrew's with us, ready to fly. We've got ourselves the outside of the plane. I'm going to do a right click with my mouse and just get around this thing. I want to turn up the volume so you can hear the sim volume. Maybe not that loud. And I want you to hear some of the effects that are happening here. Oops. So first of all, I'm using, for those who've never done career mode or never done this sort of thing, I'm using the W key to move forward, the C key to go down. You could use your Xbox controller, you guys, like we do in walk mode. We're actually in walk mode right now. We're outside the plane. C is crouching down. So we're walking just like we do on our Saturday group fly. And so now I'm over here. I've taken the pitot tube cover off. We would also look in the tube to make sure there's no debris, there's no bees or insects or whatever. This is important. Very, very important. Chocks are here. Might as well do them next. I see them while I'm crouched down. Get in closer. Boom. Like that. Sure. Like that. There we go. They're gone. And then the engine cover, which I guess you jump up on the wing and click that. And what I'm going to do, Andrew, because I'm showing them different checklist items, I'm going to take your camera off for the moment. All right, we'll bring you back again, but you're still on voice.
No problem.
And then you guys, normally there's other things to check along the way. We're just going to, for sake of time today, that's our standard career mode checklist items, and we're going to go straight inside. KTSY, KTS, KTYS, KTYS, the KCSV. All right, you can click here or you can press Control C to go inside, and it's going to close it up for us. Cold and dark, are you kidding? Are you kidding? So the very first thing we're going to do is just turn on battery number 2. Battery number 2 will give us a screen to start with. And typically it's in revisionary mode, but it's not, which it should be. I think they're going to have to fix that, but you know, it doesn't bother us any. And right here, let me just go to Shift 1. Right here is your dimmer switch. To bring that up, good. We're ready to roll. And just like in the G1000, we've got our indicators of what's wrong in red and what is not necessarily wrong, but some type of messages in yellow, and all the things that we'll have to take care of as we go along. This will be our checklist thumb wheel, and you can see them. I've turned these on so that you can tell what they are when we hover, and that way you can advance the checklist as we go along. And there it is. And so battery 2, let's turn that on. Gen 1 and Gen 2. I'm just starting out with those first. Now, I do know that real pilots of this plane, they go down and they do everything they can before they turn on the engine. They want to save fuel. All right, what I'm going to do to save battery is I'm going to turn the engine on first. All right, so let's just take a look here. Now, to get that to happen, Shift 3 gives us our 3 GTCs. And in our GTCs, by default, it's showing you your initialization screen. So we could go there right away and just do initialization. It's already got the flight plan in, and it's got takeoff data in there. We need to do weight and balance, and we need to do the initial fuel. All right, so even in career mode, you got to do initial fuel, or you'll have this message on your screen with a mismatch. Let's just show you this. right here. Fuel quantity mismatch, or miscompare, sorry, miscompare. And that means that you haven't synchronized the fuel on board with what the computer knows. The computer knows nothing. It was turned off, right? So let's just go through the checklist items. To get that checklist on the screen, we went to GTC3 and we went to checklist. I'm going to show you that in a minute. You can probably see it over here also, but let me just show you how to go back to it. Right now I'm going to leave the init screen up there, and I'm just going to go through a few of the checklist items. So let's go here. Now, to make this advance, pre-flight inspection is done. I'm just going to right-click the thumb wheel, right-click it, and it'll automatically advance. Now, you can advance it yourself by using your mouse wheel, which is very intuitive, but I didn't know how to make it click, so it's check marked. I thought you could just click it with a mouse, and found out just by trial and error, you just right-click the darn mouse wheel. All right, the door is latched, the parking brake is on. Let's do a quick check. We'll go Shift 3. There's the parking brake. Control spacebar turns it off. Control spacebar turns it on. All right, so we have a parking brake on, and it should tell us that right here. Parking brake. That's telling us it's on. It's not in red. It's not saying it's off. It's telling us that it's on. Obviously, you can't move the plane. All right, so parking brake is on. Check that item. Battery 1 and 2 have turned that on. Gen 1 and 2 have turned it on. Now, the external GPU is a question some of you have asked. I remember, Ace, you were asking the same thing. And it was confirmed also from the real pilot that it isn't actually activated in 24 yet. So we don't have an external GPU to use. So we'll just check it and move on. Verify active FADEC channel is displayed. That's over here. I'm on FADEC channel B, or my earlier flight today was on FADEC channel A. And anybody who's used FADEC systems like in the Diamond 62, it has it also. You're looking for a channel here, an active channel. We are on an active channel, so that's great. And we'll move on to the next checklist item. Strobe lights on, that's right down here. Your switches you need are all right here. All right, this is going to be your anti-icing. We don't do any of that yet. Here's your probe heat. You don't turn that on yet. Remember, only 5 minutes on the ground, so you want to turn that on when you're at the hold short, ready to take off. We'll be turning on bleed and master oxygen soon, but here's our strobe. On she goes. We don't need landing, and we don't need exterior light yet. Strobe's on. All right, strobe's on. CAS messages. Now you're going to look at your messages. It says fuel pressure low. I haven't started the engine yet. All right, but you can see in here, engine knob run, and down here, verify engine start bat temperature or engine start volts, and we're going to hit the engine button. All right, that's coming up. So CAS messages so far, yep, fuel pressure is low, it's expected. Parking brake is on. Fuel quantity miscompare, I haven't done my init. Bleed is off, I want to turn that on soon. And again, takeoff pitch trim, I haven't done that yet. So these are all expected so far. All right, let's go take a look. And I'm just going to advance that. Thrust lever at idle, I'm just doing that manually, it's there. Brakes hold. And now I'm going to go to the engine knob and hit run. Very simple, you guys. Engine knob, I'm just going to click it and it turns it to the run position. There's a noise in the background. All right, what is that noise? That's our fuel pump. It's on. You can see it's telling us that. All right, and up here it says engine knob run, and it says fuel pump check. Yep, and you can also look at your fuel pressure over on the right and make sure you've got some fuel pressure. Make sure advisory CAS is displayed. It is. Yep. Yellow's advisory, right? Audible, confirm, pump is on. Good. Verify engine start, battery temp, or engine start volt CAS message is not displayed. I don't have a start volts CAS message. I don't have an engine start bat temp. I don't have either one of those. We're good. Keep her rolling. Okay. Engine button press. Not hard. Howard doesn't need to teach us this. It's right here. Boom. I hear it. I love the sound of a startup jet engine, don't you? And things are going to happen here. You should see... Oh, probe heat is off. Yep, engine is off. We haven't done it yet. Okay. But you see that there's no more fuel, low fuel message. Take off emergency bat. That's not a good thing. Take off emergency bat. I've had that in one other flight. I didn't know what to do about it. Couldn't find an answer. So anybody want to do research on that? Take off emergency bat. In real life, you're not supposed to take off with that thing on. It's not red. It's not telling us it's wrong. It's just saying in the POH it says ensure that it's not telling us that. So then what we have to do, right? And Mike says turn battery 1 off. Why? Because that's one bus, right? Okay, let's take that off. Okay, solves the problem. Don't know what it did though. Nice, thanks for that. All right, engine instruments, your monitor. So remember, the first 30 seconds you're looking for, definitely you're looking for oil pressure. It's in the green. I'm looking for some type of percent thrust. It's there. I'm looking at my N1 and N2, and they're supposed to be above 25% for the N2. Yes, it's up to 53%, and it's in the green. So these are things that the POH talks about. I think it does talk about in here. They're talking about exceed limits with red lines and stuff like that. So it's all here in the checklist items. All right, the EIS, check all that's normal. That's your engine instrument system right here. All is normal. That's a nice way of doing it. Now, the engine IPS as required. I already checked it, but engine IPS is right here. This is your engine, and this is your ice protection system, ICS, or IPS, ice protection system, I mean, IPS. Engine ice protection system. Right now, my outside temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. I'm not going to turn them on. Probably in cruise you could do that and just make sure. Same with my wing stuff, and the windshield de-ice fluid makes it kind of blurry in real life, and they actually say don't use that even on landing because it could blur your visual on your landing. But anyway, that's what you're looking at when you're looking at those things. External GPU, no need for that. Oxygen master switch on. All right, so when it's not on, here's your master oxygen. Boom, we should have oxygen. Oh, do you hear that? I heard it. It's up above there, and you can see the green indicators over here. I'm going to now look at my avionics initialization. All inits complete. So here's where we go down to 3 and take a bit of time to go into GTC number 2. Right here. Now, GTC number 2, it's already got 2 of the initializations done already, our flight plan and our takeoff data. We're going to modify that a little bit, but we're going to come back to it later. I'm going to go to initial fuel first. Now, even in career mode, this is the only thing you really have to do. You do Control E to start up the engine, everything's fine, all the switches seem to be in the right place, but you still got to come here and do this. All right, so FOB sync, you click that and it'll fill in a number here. I got 144 gallons. Confirm, that's all you need to do. All right, it's remaining fuel, there it is. You can add more later if you wish, but you notice it says my weight and balance is complete. It doesn't need my people weights. What? So I better go in and check that out. I'm going to come in here, look, empty weight, aircraft loading, look. It says it's complete without anybody on board. We got to put some numbers in here, you guys. So I'm going to put 200 pounds for each person, standard weights, 200 for a co-pilot, and 1 other passenger. We're taking a special VIP person sitting in the right seat at the back. All to themselves. We've got 100 pounds of baggage, and we've got cargo extended. De-ice quantity, we'll put in 6 pounds for de-ice quantity. Big deal. All right. And now we will say next. That's everything we need. Yep. Next. And next it's going into the active flight plan. We're going to add one more thing in here. Runway 26. Let's go to a procedure and let's just pick up the approach to ILS 26. Yeah, we'll do that. TKS. Yeah, that's good. We'll do that. And we'll just load it. We won't activate. We'll just load it. It's not a GPS. Yeah, I know. You could say load and activate, but it could change things. So there we go. Our init's done. Actually, in the flight plan, let's add a waypoint, you guys, just to make it easier for us on this flight. It's a short flight, so we just have to put it in now. Typically, you do that while you're in the air, but you know, we'll do it in now. I'm looking at Little Nav Map. I think it's called SAYCO. Okay. SAY. I'm just using a waypoint here. YCO. I'm used to a QWERTY keyboard, so I have no idea where it is. C. Oh, there we go. Enter. And that will take us around to the approach to ILS 26. And I think the chart says 3,600 feet or something like that. All right, so I'm going to go back now. All my inits are done. I'm going to say accept initialization. All right, and it takes me back to my MFD home where I can start working from there on charts, etc. All right, so let's go back up to here. Hang in there, you guys. These are things that are necessary. Avionics initialization are done. Actually, I haven't done all my screens yet, but I'm going to move on from there. Caps, pin. Caps, remember? Caps, pin is this guy. At the same time, I'm going to take away the emergency exit pin also. All right, and now it's time that I've taken those off to do the passenger briefing. Passenger briefing. What could that sound like? Good afternoon, KW from Saskatoon. Takeoff emergency bat is a known bug with this plane. Thanks for that, Ace. According to that YouTube, ICE bat 1 is also off for startup. Okay. In the real checklist, it says bat 1 on. But anyway, and that was when you would see revisionary mode happen also. I want to do an example checklist, you guys. Even in a 172, we do passenger checklist to start. It's an FAA requirement. It's compulsory. Here's what it would sound like in the VisionJet. So I'm going to turn around and talk to our passenger who's sitting in that seat right there. So this is how it would go, you guys. It goes something like this. Welcome aboard to our luxurious VisionJet G2 Plus. We're very proud of it here at Forder Air, and we're glad you chose to fly with us. My name is Howard Forder, and I'll be your captain on today's flight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the comfort and the luxury this aircraft has to offer. A few reminders are in order that I wish to highlight for this flight. We will be flying to Crossville Memorial Airport, where the temperature is a tolerable 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I had to convert. At an altitude of only 4,500 feet, as it's not very far away for this airplane. This flight is a non-smoking and vaping flight, and I ask that you not converse with me during takeoff and landing phases of the flight, so I can concentrate on my radio communications. In the event of an emergency, there are 2 exits from this plane, one to the right of you and one over here to the left. There are a couple of unique safety features of this airplane that I wish to point out. Above you is an emergency parachute system. Pulling the red lever will activate a parachute for the whole plane. We wouldn't do this unless there is no other way to safely get to the ground. Secondly, there is a safe return system activated by the big red button on the ceiling. This will automatically land the airplane at the nearest airport, complete with radio communications, in the event that there is no pilot able to do so. Again, this is a safety feature to use by a passenger when there is no other way to safely get you back down again. There is a large entertainment screen ahead of you, or you can certainly use your own devices during this flight. Drinks and snacks are plentiful and available within arm's reach. Please help yourself. We hope you enjoy the flight, and on behalf of the staff and the crew, we thank you for choosing Forder Air. So there's the passenger briefing. I should just let Janet do it, right, Mike? But the pilot in command has to do it if there's nobody else. We got to be prepared. All right. Briefing's done, seatbelts are secured. Note, the bleed switch should not be set to bleed until BAT 1 and BAT 2 have been on for 2 minutes or more. All right, they've been on for 2 minutes or more. Bleed, there we go. No more fresh air. All right, bleed switch is on. Got it. Ready to roll? Comm and nav set. All right, let's go take a look at comm and nav. That is typically on your CTC number 3. There we go. And what we'll do is go to say intentions right now, and we will say new flight, and that way it's fresh, and it will see where we are. Here's what it looks like, and it gives us everything we need. Well, let's see if I've got it in my book here. I've got ground is 1219, takeoff, yep, tower is 1212, yeah, ATIS is 12835, and that's what we'll do right now. Okay, everything's right there, and all we have to do is click it, and it'll put it up here for us. Right now, my COM1 is on 1801. Now, to do it manually, if you wanted to do it manually, it's pretty simple. Your CTC3 is already on NavCom. Let's zoom in and have a quick look at that, so you can get an idea what we're dealing with here. And you can see that it's simple. It's got a keypad in there. It shows your COM frequencies. Clicking the COM frequency will flip-flop as we normally do. Here's your transponder, and it's now set for altitude reporting mode C 1200 here in North America. Now you can go into audio and radios and go and change other frequencies. This is the one thing I couldn't find. I could not set my nav radio to an ILS. I could not figure out how. It was so crazy trying to figure that out. Finally realized audio and radios. Okay, and click this simple little button here. Everything else is easy. You can type in your frequencies and press enter, transfer, etc. And everything is very easy to use on this screen. Now with Say Intentions, it makes it very convenient for us. The first thing I want to do is ATIS. Get ready with your pencil and your paper and copy down our ATIS. Here we go.
Zero. Dew point 0. Altimeter 2986. Density
2986.
altitude 1800 feet. Arriving and departing runway 23 left. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Charlie.
Charlie, I didn't get
McGee
the
Tyson
window last
Airport, information Charlie. 2253 Zulu.
Excuse me.
Wind 225 and 9er. Visibility
225 and
10.
9. Okay,
Sky conditions, clear.
got it.
Temperature 20.
And now I'll just change it
2.0.
over to the ground. Look how
Altimeter.
simple it is right here. You just click it with Say Intentions if you're using that tool. And you notice it puts it in automatically. And I could put my tower in afterwards. 1212. 1212. There we go. It's ready to go to flip-flop the minute I want to change over to tower. That's the normal way to do it. All right. All right, so that's easy enough. I've got that set up. What else do I need? I don't need weight and balance on my screen. I will put charts in there soon, and I can certainly show you how this works. Here in my CTC number 2, I'm going to pick map, and put the map in for me. I'm going to come over here to utilities. You see that behind my face here? Utilities, setup. And I'm going to go to Navigraph settings, and I'm going to click account. Now it's already got my account in there. My subscription's already done, but this is the screen where it would show you your QR code, and you just use your phone to authenticate. That's all it is. You use your phone with the camera. It will authenticate, and then you have charts available to you. All right, that's all you need to do to get that working. Back I go to here, and now I click on charts. When I click on charts, it says no available yet, but you know, let's click on it again. Let's go pick one of them. I'm at McGee Tyson. I think they actually call it, I don't think they call it McGee Tyson when you're calling them. Anyway, we'll go have a look there. Departure, arrival, approach. So I just need the airport diagram for taxiing, and you can see that it's put it up there on the screen already. I'm sitting right here. I'm going to request 05 for takeoff. Nice and easy, doesn't waste a lot of time. That's what I'm going to be doing. You could also make it full screen, but I'm going to leave it as one pane only. All right, and you can decide which pane it goes in. All right, so I'm just going to come back from there. I've got everything set up that I need to. I've got frequencies ready to go, and I'm ready to rock and roll, you guys. Anything I might have missed? Common nav, ATC. Oh, ATC clearance is right there. Let's just double check here. That. Altimeter, they said 2986. I'm going to use the barrel knob here. 29er, come back to 86 right there. And it should show your altitude of your airport. Transponder was already set. We saw it was on altitude 1200. And heading initial altitudes setting. I said we would fly at 45. That's what we're going to be flying at because it's not far away. We don't want to get too high up. So we can't go faster than 250. There's my 45 set. Probe heat still off. I won't turn that on yet. Parking brake still on. I won't turn that off yet. And takeoff pitch trim. Let's go take a look at that. Here we go. Getting ready to set up for takeoff. Initial alt is set. Flight controls free and correct. Let's go outside. The sun is setting. It's taken me so long. And let's just do a quick check here. Left, right. Ailerons are good. Back and forth. Elevator's good. Rudder's good. And there's Grubius taking off from the airport, heading out. Might end up being a night landing, you guys. What a beautiful looking plane, don't you think? Don't you think? All right, controls are free and correct. Next, caution. Heat fail. Caution occurs when engine IPS is on. Dispatch not allowed. Okay, we're good. Trim set. Here's the hard part. The rest is all easy. Here's the hard part. Because it's driving me crazy. Let's go over to number 2 here. And in number 2, it shows us our trim right here. And the trim's set for 0 degrees, which is neutral, but it's not set for takeoff. And when I say it drives me crazy, my trim wheel on my Bravo goes very, very slowly. 1 degree, okay, 2 degree. I want 4 degrees, which is pretty much center of that green area. I'm spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning. Now, you can change that in settings. I could change that to be faster rate or something, or double the rate or something, but then it would mess up my 172 flying. So I'm going to leave it. It's the exact right rate for my 172. I'm sure eventually I can separate those settings for 2 different planes, but for now I'm leaving it because I flip back and forth between planes all the time. So takeoff is set. Flaps, I'm going to do my flaps lever, set it for 50%. Down they go. I see my indicators working, and you can see my flaps are down first notch, 50%. There's only 2 settings, 50 and full. Right? Somebody's got a big, huge airplane nearby. There's a busy airport. Let's see. I can see your magnetic. I can see your magneto switches, Andrew. Engine calibers are why your engine stops after a minute or 2. Ooh, someone's speaking from experience. Okay, so we did that. Trim is set. Flaps are set. Electronic roll trim was already there. Toga button press. Well, on my Bravo, it's this button right here. But that's a disconnect auto throttle. So I'm going to use arm auto throttle. I think that's all we need to do. I mean, I have no other way. Someone can advise me, but that seems to be our Toga button. I don't know. We'll see, but it does go automatically. Pitch attitude, we're going to make sure it goes to 10. And any messages. Probe heat's off. We're going to turn that on. Look, we're down to 2, and that's good. All right. Seats in the normal upright position. Parking brake. Release. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. Go back to a normal view. If I can find a normal view. 1 and 1. No, let's just try this. Normal view. Turn checklist off, or make this full screen. So here, to give you an idea how that works, you just come over here and say full, and it would put this across the whole screen. We'll do that in your cruise. All right, we're going to leave it like that. If I were like that, if I were landing, I would do that. All right, we're going to taxi too. Sorry. All right, let's rock and roll. I'm going to call ground now. It should be 1219. Yep, it is. And I'm going to let them know where I am and what my intentions are. And I'm going to an airport called Crossville. All right, we're going Crossville. The departure will be to the west. All right, here's how it goes, you guys. And it's called Knoxville Ground. Knoxville Ground, this is Fox Lima Tango Fox VisionJet on the south apron, requesting taxi to runway 05 for west departure Crossville. With information, Charlie. I got to change that. The button, my mic button, change the view in here to look back.
Tango Foxtrot, taxi to runway 05 via Charlie Alpha.
Taxi Charlie Alpha, runway 05, Fox Lima Tango Fox. So, I've got permission to taxi. Remember, in career mode, you could follow the taxiway links. Here, we don't have such a thing. All right, I'm going to do control spacebar, which releases the brake. My CAS message should have no brake on, but my pitot heat still off. I'm going to do a brake check. That's where you do stop with your brakes, make sure they're going to work. You need those when you land, when you get to your destination. All planes, we do a brake check when we're taxiing. Come out here to the taxi lines. I've got permission to taxi over here, and I'm going to be taxiing Charlie Alpha. That was Charlie back there. I'm on Alpha now. I'm going to hold short in 05, which is right in front of me. Nothing to it. Taking a look outside. Powerful little baby. Get back on the line, Howard. Like that. You'll find that when you're landing, the line is about there. If I were to look outside right now, it should be... No, looks like it might be in the middle. A lot like the DA62, it's a little to the left of the center of your... could be because I've squished the PFD over a little. Alright, it looks good. Rock and roll. You won't see anything alive yet, but you will see your heading indicator certainly will be moving. Manx TT, what are you flying that I don't have? Or are you flying that great big airplane? Peter Sally says, good briefing. Thank you. Thank you very much. I could have said, oh, this is your pilot speaking. But, you know, I'm not an actor, you guys. I could have put that microphone right inside my mouth, too. I was like, this is the pilot speaking. But, you know, get enough of that, right? If I were using my David Clark headset, I'd have to get that thing right into my face. As beautiful as this is, I'm doing a demo today, so I'm going to put it at noon, so it's so that we're at normal, like normal kind of weather, normal kind of lighting, so we can see everything properly. All right, now I'm sitting here. Now I'm going to put it on. As soon as I've got my clearance, I'm going to put on the pitot heat. Hold on. Let's change our frequency over now. We do that down here, and we go flip flop, boing. And now we're on tower frequency. It should be 1212 up here at the top. Looking good. If you're not eating the mic on a DC headset, are you even flying? Brad says. So true, right? So true. All right, let's talk to the tower and let's just tell them where we are. Yeah. Let's see. What is it? Knoxville. Yeah. Knoxville Tower. This is Fox Lima Tango Fox. VisionJet is holding short in 05. We're ready for takeoff. Nothing coming our way. Always be watching.
Foxtrot Lima Tango Foxtrot, Knoxville Tower, runway 23 left, winds 225 at Niner, cleared for takeoff.
Knoxville Tower, Fox Lima Tango Fox is holding short, requesting runway 05 for takeoff. Yeah, let's see what they say. They got confused. They already told us.
Tango Foxtrot, runway 5, winds 225 at Niner, cleared for takeoff.
He doesn't sound very happy, does he? Right? Cleared for takeoff, 05, Fox Lima Tango Fox. So, you know, it's like, he actually had emotion in there. Did you hear it? It's like, okay, go ahead.
Tango Foxtrot, runway 05, winds 225 at Niner, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 05, Fox Lima Tango Fox, thank you. You don't have to say thank you, but I like to say thank you. All right. Now that we know we're going to be rolling, we're not going to sit there for 5 minutes. I'm going to turn on my pitot heat. I have no more cast messages. Look at that. That's the way. We like it. He had a long shift, Mike, right? Yeah, okay. Rock and roll. Here we go. Everybody's buckled in. Ready for a good time. Grab your drink, relax. Let's go.
Tower, smoothing for Juliet, descending from 3500, RNAV 23 left approach.
Needles are live.
Smooth Airlines 384 Juliet Lima, Knoxville Tower, winds 265 at 10, runway 23 left, cleared to land.
85 was my rotate. No, 90 was my rotate. I think I did 91. Andrew's up ahead, rocking and rolling already. Poor guy has put in 263.7 hours so far. Is that right? More than 500. Okay. Should be on takeoff. No, it's on speed. Why is it on speed? Oh, it should be on takeoff. Let's just make that. Is that on? Let's see if it's on. Oh, it is on. Okay. Should have been on takeoff. I'm not sure why it's not. All right. You guys help me out here. If I've messed something up, I've done quite a few flights already in the last 48 hours. This thing should be rocking and rolling. Things are looking great. And I think what I'll do.
McGee Tower, VisionJet 407 Mike Alpha is holding short of runway 23 left, ready for departure.
That sounded like Mike, you guys. I'm putting it on heading. I'm going to take it around to my my nav.
VisionJet 407, Mike Alpha, Knoxville Tower, runway 23 left, winds 225 at Niner, cleared for takeoff.
Gear up, flaps up. Should have been done 5 minutes ago. And I'm just going to come around to where I need to be. Yeah, that sounded like Mike on the radio, you guys, in his VisionJet. Cool. Probably hear Andrew too when he comes through. Yeah, it was him, yeah.
Clear for takeoff, runway 23 left, VisionJet 407 Mike Alpha.
Yeah, that was Mike. That was our Mike. So right now, for you guys who want to see closely what's happening here, it's on heading mode, but I've got FMS in the background. So I've got it on an intercept of about 20 degrees or so. And as this gets closer, it'll automatically kick in and follow the magenta line. All right, it already went up to 4,500. Oh, 48. Huh. Wow. Okay. It should automatically adjust our percentage here. It'll take us to around 250 knots, but I'm going to bring it down a bit. Let's just bring it down a bit. Got something. Check. Okay. Yeah, I got to bring that. Oh, it's coming down on its own for some reason. Yeah, it went overshot. It overshot my altitude. I don't like that, but we can fix it quickly. 46. It is coming down slowly. Let's do a VS of 500 feet per minute. Bring that down quick. There we go. You notice that the FMS has now kicked in, which is our nav. It's now going to follow that magenta line. And we're level 4,500. It will not go past 250 because we're under 10,000. So there we go. Rocking and rolling. One thing you guys caught it right away is that I didn't do gear up and flaps up right away. Gear first, flaps up under 115. And now we can look outside and see we are clean, no caffeine. Look at that. Baby! Oh, does it get any better than that?
Knoxville Tower, November 822 Delta Charlie, ILS, runway 23 left.
Cloud 2 Delta Charlie, roger.
Andrew's there, Groovies is there, Groversaurus is there, and we are rocking and a-rolling. Rocking and a-reeling. Proper in. Good. Anything else we need to do? Well, let's just check. What else is there? Departure briefing complete.
Knoxville Tower,
Landing
November
lights
822
off.
Delta Charlie, ILS, runway 23 left.
Heat is on.
Cloud
As
2 Delta
required.
Charlie, winds 175 at 10, gusting 21. Runway 23 left, clear to land.
So you notice here, these are all your IPS stuff. This is ice protect switches, if you wish. All right, we could do, you know, with the outside air temperatures now less than it was when we took off, we could make sure the engine's okay. We could also do other ones too, but we'll leave it at that. Just put the engine one on. Engine IPS as required. Here, here. Cast messages are all gone. Trim is automatic. Flaps are up. Oh, flaps 50 and then up. Okay. Verify takeoff emergency messages not displayed, and away we went. And what has come down here? We rotated at 85. Actually, we rotated at 90. Pitch attitude was 10. Now we're just trying to finally catch up here. Okay. And now we climbed. Holy moly, look at us go. All right. Thrust lever MCT, which is automatic. Ice protection as required. Contact ATC and notice of non-RVSM status if we're having trouble. Now let me just mention, you guys, I want to see how far away we are. If we just go over to the lab map, give you guys an idea. We're only here. Let's just see where that airspace ends. Right about here. They'll either call me and tell me I'm free, or I have to call them and tell them I've cleared their airspace. Got something going on in my left ear here. So any second now, we should hear say intentions. Just they know where we are. They're just going to say that you are free to change your frequency, or we'll change it.
Tango Foxtrot, you're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change. Fox Lima Tango Fox. Good day. So we just left their airspace right here.
Vision 7 Mike Alpha, you're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Maybe you didn't hear me.
Vision 7 Mike Alpha, contact Knoxville, departure on 118.0.
7 Mike Alpha. Okay, yeah, got it. That was someone behind me. Mike Alpha. That would be you, Mike, right? Flights with Joel.
Knoxville approach 118.0. Vision 4 is Mike Alpha. Have a good day.
That's our Mike. That was Noiseboy Mike, you guys. Hey, Flights with Joel brought his friends. Hey, good to see you, man. Joel, were you flying helicopters again? Were you? Thanks for bringing your friends. You guys, we're doing a VisionJet flight, start to finish, cold and dark, learning it all inside out, complete with checklists, and we're on a short flight from, where did we start? Knoxville, and we're going to someplace called Crossville Memorial. That's where we're headed. Not very far, not very long. We're just getting to know the plane. And you were in the new update? Yeah, in the new update. Surly Dev says, how the heck are you? Now, let's just put this back to some kind of normal. There's a couple of smokestacks. We're flying at 4,500, you guys. I think our destination, if we had a quick look at the chart for it, I think the destination is actually 1,800 feet or 1,900 feet. So our approach for ILS 26 is actually 3,600 feet or something like that. So we should get that ready to go. We should also get the frequency ready to go. We're going to be changing over to the Unicom of our destination. That's what we're doing. And I also want to mention that in the meantime, we would always have our guard frequency on, 1215. That's what I've got on our COM2, and I'm listening in COM2, and that way you can always listen for emergencies. That's a very common procedure. I also use this COM2 for my ATIS. In this case, there's no ATIS at our destination, so we're going to rely on the weather from Knoxville. The frequency at our destination is Crossville North. It's a Unicom 122.7. So we don't need to tune that in until we are close, 15 miles or so out from the airport. And I'm going to stay on the Knoxville frequency because they would have more traffic and traffic coming in from a bigger radius. So there's no reason for me to jump over to their Unicom when I'm this far away. All right, that's what I'm doing. All right, so let's go to charts. Let's find a chart for our destination. All right, there's our chart. Look at that. But that's not what I want. I want the approach. And, oh, I better zoom in here. It's hard to read, isn't it? I'm going to get the approach now for runway 26. Let me just see what I'm using. Is it Z or Y that I picked? I'm pretty sure it was Y. There is a difference. And there is my chart now. Let me just have a quick look here. And we'll just get an idea of what we need here. I'm pretty sure it was 36 coming in. Oh yeah, 36 coming in here at the final approach. Yeah, 5,000 coming in. We're at 4,500. We're going to slide in here at 4,500. We're going to descend to 36 and pick up the ILS. And in we go. All right. And we are actually going out to something out here. Oh, maybe that is the wrong one. Yep. Let's try this one. And we are coming out to, yeah, Seiko. We're coming to Seiko, 4,100, then to 3,600, and then we'll just follow it in. It'll just pick it up for us. Seiko, remember I put that in as a waypoint? So that'll bring us around and take us in. So that's the chart we're using, you guys. Beautiful, wonderful, easy enough. Let you guys know we're about halfway there. We're almost there. So we can actually change it around now. Say Intentions is hailing you on the approach frequency. Really rad. They're going to hail me on the approach frequency. Okay, fine. I better go find that approach frequency. I could always ask my mentor, right? What's the approach frequency? I don't have my mentor turned on. Hold on a sec. They didn't hand me off, so it's not a problem. You don't have to tune into the approach, but we'll try it. Let's just go over here. Show information for Crossville. Area Control Center, maybe? Unicom's 122.7. 118.0. Don't have to do it. Approach can, bye-bye. So you guys, I wasn't handed off to approach. I don't have to tune approach. I'm out of the area and I'm heading to my destination. So if my destination has an approach, I would go there. If anyone told me to go there, or if I had flight following and they told me to go there, then I'd have to go there. But I'm not. All right, let's check it out. I'm going to change to the Unicom in a minute, but before I do that, I want to go back to flight plan, make sure. I thought I had an en route waypoint right here. Runway 26. No. It was SAYO, right? S-A-Y-O. Right up here. Almost too late, huh? Almost too late! Okay. Yeah, SAYCO. Yeah, there's no way that's getting me there. It was in here, you guys. What happened? What do you think? SAYCO. Enter. That's where I'm supposed to be going. Where did it actually show up? Well, alright. And the approach is lost now too. Fine. That is not where it's supposed to go. Okay, so we're having fun. Let's get down here into this guy. And let's pick up that approach again. I might have to do a visual, just a visual approach. Yeah, there's Y, 26, vectors, TY, frequency, preview off. I'm going to activate. And see what it does. I mean, it should have taken me out to the, what to say, oh, but it didn't. Alright, let's come over to here. It's say activate. Yeah. And let's jump outside the plane again. Back to here. Back to here. And I am nowhere near it. So I'm changing over to heading mode. And in heading mode, I'm now going to take us around. I'm also going to drop it down to 3600 because it's going to be tight. 36. And I'm going to do a VS 500. There we go. 36 VS. Oh, 300 will work. Got my heading around. Looking good. Crank it some more hard. You got to come right around. There we go. Jeff says, hey, let's go to the monthly club meeting. Autopilot issues. Tuesday, March 18th. Wow, that's cool. Alright, that's exactly what I want it to do. It's going to come around to 3600, which is the approach. I'm going to pick up the ILS if it's still there. I said activate. Who knows? It should automatically turn it around. AP is on. I hear my outer marker. It's just off to my left here. So that was different. Autopilot issues. Again, Jeff. I did 4 flights like this with this approach. That's how come I know the approach. And they worked just fine. So, you know, that's how it goes, you guys. Who knows? As soon as you go on stream, you miss something. Airport's over here, I think. No problem. No, it's probably operator error. And this thing moves so fast, I'm used to smaller planes. I'm going to pop this screen out to my other screens that I have. I've got the Flight Sim Builder G1000 screen, so I can push them out there so I can get a closer look. There we go. Alright, let's bring her back around and see if it can pick this up. Put it on heading. I'm going to put the FMS in the background. Once I get stabilized on the approach, then I'll put it in. We'll do the approach. Coming back around. Let's see if we can do it again. We're going in for a landing, you guys, and we're running out of time. I might just take it and do it visual, because visual might be faster. And we'll just take it right in. Andrew's not a distraction at all. Not a distraction at all. Alright, like I said, we're coming back around. We actually crossed over it above the approach altitude, and now we're coming back around to it. But it should have gone straight to that waypoint, and it should have then turned onto the ILS and taken it in from there. But we'll see it happen. I'm out far enough to see this happen. I've got FMS in the background. It should pick it up as we get closer. Quite the turn, you guys. Hold on to your seatbelts. Have another drink back there. Polluting. That's it. Okay. I thought he was pouting. Yeah. Oh, it's automatically reducing my speed. You see that? It's doing it all automatically. Ooh. Alright, making sure our frequency is right for where we're going, you guys. Remember, it was the Unicom frequency of 122.7. Before I even latch on, I should get that changed. 122.7. right here. 120.27. Flip that over. Back to normal. And let's see where we are. Where are we? FMS is not taking over. Let's see if I can change that. Yeah, just having me going around in circles. I tell you, I'm going to take it in visually if I can't have any satisfaction here. I can't get no. Yeah, we'll probably cut it short. Good thing I showed you the video, you guys, already of the ballistic system. The ballistic system. That is nowhere near. It's not even.
Traffic, Sky, VisionJet 407 Mike Alpha is 4 miles out for runway 26 landing.
Huh. You're 4 miles out. I'm 4 miles out. Okay, I'm 10 miles out. Knoxville Unicom, this is Fox Lima Tango Fox on a visual for 26. I can't get rid of my AP. There we go. There's the outer marker. I'll just do a manual, you guys. It's not even changing over to the right frequency, so it was before. So, got to do a passenger briefing as we're heading in, you guys. I'm just going to reduce some power here. Just a minute. Let me get set up for landing here. I'm in the flap range now. I'm good. Wheels are down. We're great. Set that up and get her slow. We want about 120 or less, maybe 118 by the time we come down to the runway fence. All right, passenger briefing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching Crossville to land. Oops,
VisionJet 407 Mike Alpha is going around.
Get stable, Howard, get stable. 1 second, you guys. All of a sudden, it dropped on me here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching Crossville to land. Fasten your seatbelts, stow your trays and belongings, and reset your seat to the upright position. I ask that you let me talk to the controllers during this phase of our flight until we're on the ground and taxiing to the parking. The temperature here in Crossville is 7 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Fahrenheit, clear skies. The time is the same as when we left in Knoxville. For your safety and the safety of those around you, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and keep the aisle clear until we're parked at the gate. We hope you travel with us again real soon. On behalf of the crew, we thank you for choosing Forder Air. Knoxville Unicom, this is Fox Lima Tango Fox VisionJet on short final for runway 26, full stop.
Crossville traffic, VisionJet 407 Mike Alpha is downwind runway 26.
Fox Lima Tango Fox has the traffic, Mike. Nice steep approach, as Howard always does. So you are in the RNAV. Yeah, I did that earlier. I did both RNAV and I also did ILS on this runway, on this airport.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Pull up. Pull up.
What do you know,
up.
computer? You know
Pull
what I mean?
up.
What do they know?
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Isn't that annoying?
Pull up.
I think they're trying to tell us something. And time to put her down. Find your feet. I'm not going to try for it. We'll take our time. We're not going to slam on the brakes. Flaps are going up. In some places, they want the transponder on standby. In other places, they want it on all the time. I'm going to leave mine on. Wow. Now in the real plane it is differential braking only, but in this plane we seem to have rudder control, so you don't have to slam on the brakes. I just touched them right there. It was pretty tricky.
Knoxville traffic, VisionJet 407 Mike Alpha is turning base for runway 26.
Knoxville Unicom Fox Lima Tango Fox has cleared the runway and heading to parking. Fox Lima Tango Fox. A says, when is the citation longitude lesson? Well, if there's a need for it, let's do it. I'll put in the research. Landing lights off. Taxi light on. I'm not following checklist now because the stream has run out of time. We're just going to get the darn thing parked.
Knoxville traffic, VisionJet 407 Mike Alpha is on silent runway 26, full stop landing.
Mike's doing a full stop, you guys. Full stop. We're just going to pull over by the fuel. We're good. Fast taxi. Be careful of that. I think the 172 maximum 25 knots taxiing in career mode. This jet probably 30. Lets you taxi a little faster. And then you get dinged for it. It affects your experience and it affects your paycheck. Yeah, we'll park over here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Here's how simple the checklist is to make it easier for you guys. What we're simply going to do is turn off our unnecessary switches. So the strobe, the landing light is already off, taxi light's already off. The oxygen's back to fresh. Icing was already one switch off. It's pretty much change your switches. Make sure your flaps are already up, which they are. And clear any messages. Obviously things are off now. And you're simply coming over here to get that out of the way. You're coming over here and you're simply turning this switch to the off position and push the button. Once it spins down, then we're going to head up. We're going to turn off the main power here. That's as simple as that. Gen 2, Gen 1, and battery 2. All switches should be off. Here we go. Good. And we'll turn around and we'll let them out. So, 4 flights before now, all of them worked with our automatic landing, with our RNAV and with our ILS. And then when it came to the stream, I had to do a visual. That's how it works, right? The walk around is awesome in the longitude, right? So many panels and doors and stuff to open and inspect. Wow, cool. So we do a whole session on that, right? Okay, who's waiting for us? Look at that. There's our flight attendant. Oh, sorry, that's a fellow pilot. Kiwi Craig's coming in, the VisionJet. He just landed. He's on the landing roll. We've got 3 of them right here alone and a 4th one coming. Is that awesome or what? Now, you guys might have a different color, but I only have the one jet for some reason in my sim, so that's the one I'm going to put in. That's why they're showing up with that color, I guess. And here comes Kiwi Craig. Anybody else coming in?
Crossfield traffic, Cap 4 Alpha Juliet Sierra is 5 miles out, inbound to land 26. Crossfield traffic.
And he's flying the Cap 4. The nerve.
Crossfield traffic, Cap 4
Hey, I already
Alpha
flew to
Juliet
Knoxville
Sierra
or to Nashville in the VisionJet, landed, and ILS and everything. So figured I'd try out the new airplane.
Cool. Cool. All right. So while everybody's
it's basically a Brazilian version of the Super Cup.
Ever seen so many VisionJets in the same place, you guys? I feel the need for seed. Okay, that's a whole different story, Jeff, right? The need for speed. Look at them all. This is so cool. Way to go, you guys. I see Srap over there too. What's he in? I think he was going down slowly. I think he had the balloon feature. I mean the parachute feature out. Alright. And we have one more right there. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Crossville traffic. Cap 4 Alpha Juliet Sierra is base. Is final for 26. Crossville traffic, full stop.
Just going to turn off my other screens so I can get a screen snap. Here we go. Who-al. I'm out. Alright, you guys, we're into overtime, so we're going to stop right now, but just thought we'd just come out and say hi. We could even get a group shot even after the stream ends. David Craig is there. We've got one more person coming in. And
yeah, Srap's down in the lake.
Is he?
Yep.
Did he do the parachute?
I think so.
That's cool. He did the parachute, guys. And we showed a video of that earlier, the parachute system. So go back and take a look at that, right? Oh, he's in the Chinook. Yeah, that's why he's good. Pizza night. Nice. Pizza night. That's always a good thing. All right, you guys. So I tried to give an example of a passenger briefing. I hope I didn't leave anything out. And I just wanted to give you guys a taste of an airplane we had a lot of fun with in 2020. You can still have it in 2020. And it's also in 2024. So how did you do with this plane? It's so much fun to fly. And as Ace says, you know, if we move on to another plane that's similar, G3000, but it has 2 engines, speed brakes, and reversers, well, I'm in. Yeah. Oh, so somebody said, oh, Strap, somebody said you were in the Chinook, but I see you are in the chute. Yeah, that's cool. David Craig says I had a different livery, shows up as red. Yeah, that's all my sim knows. So I gotta upgrade my sim. I guess I'm gonna have to pay for it after I already bought the Aviator Edition. So who knows what happened there, you guys. So thanks a bunch. We're into overtime, so that's it for now. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. That was a lot of research, a ton of manuals, and that's what I enjoy doing. It is my hobby, and just like you guys, it's the thing we do to escape the reality of life and to get our fix for flying when we can't get into real planes. So thanks for hanging out with me and hanging along and learning stuff. It's a lot of fun, you guys. A lot of fun. And Andrew will
traffic, Cap 4 Alpha Juliet Sierra is clear of the runway. As a notification, it appears everyone was okay in the VisionJet in the lake.
Good. Okay, that's good news. It was fun, Mike. It was great to hear you on the radio, man. Yeah. And say intentions, look at that. I asked for a different runway. They gave it to me. That was great. They could have given me a hard time. And that was honestly quite fun, you guys. All right, Thursdays are cockpit chatter. All right, we're going to have a lot of fun. Talk about everything. I'm sure the update's going to be there. And Saturday, I'm guessing already, we're going to make a flight plan that will go through the new update and all the beautiful scenery up there, down there, wherever it is. And that'll probably be on Saturday for our group fly, you guys. That'll be great. And we got lots of stuff coming up as we go along. Check our website. You'll see stuff that's coming, and you'll see extra stuff that he's been putting on there. It's been great. It's starting to take shape. It's looking great. All right, you guys, take care, and we shall see you soon. See you later, Andrew.
Good night, everybody.